Oh my goodness.
Ooh.
Wow.
He might call.
Wow.
Oh, he folded.
Welcome everyone. We are here. We have got an exciting show today. 360,000 plus to first. Some huge names, and of course, Maria Konnikova joins us. Very excited to have her fresh off her bracelet win. 3-time New York Times bestseller list. Just other accolades we'll talk about. She's got her podcast, Risky Business. We're going to talk about that today. But Maria, first of all, thank you for being here. Appreciate the time.
Of course. So happy to be here, Jeff.
Yes, it's been a while since we've got to connect. We had the in Las Vegas. Yeah, you've been on my podcast. That was a while ago now. I was just looking number 82 years ago. So if anyone wants to know more about you, that's one place they can look. There's a lot of information online. And again, let's just congratulate you on your bracelet. World Series of Poker, of course.
Thank you.
Coming in with WSOP now, are you? Has that a huge relief? Because I mean, it's one of those things, right? To get it off bat, just to get it done. How does that feel to win one? Because it just getting close, and then to get it has got to be nice.
Yeah, it's amazing because there's so many ridiculously good players who are much better players than I am who don't have a bracelet, right? It's one of these things where like you can never assume you're going to win a bracelet no matter how good you are. And so it was not something that, I figured I would play my best and I'd try my hardest, but like I knew that there was a very good chance that I'd never have one. And so it was really, really special to be able to win it.
It is nice to put on I can say it talk about it because I don't have one. I have second. I have everyone but first, so that hurts. And it is one of those things you just get there and you're like, oh, okay, I'll be right back. And then it can be a while and you don't get it. Again, it is nice. Congrats to you on that. You can take a look at some of the resume here for Maria. Again, been in poker for some time and is a PokerStars ambassador and also does the Risky Business show with Nate Silver, which is actually today. I know you're filming, so that will be exciting. People can check that out. And Nate's someone who's been very out in the poker world and been around and very, very sharp person and a very cool show. So make sure you check that out. But today we're going to be reviewing some unbelievable players. We're going to look at some hands. We're going to look at the winning hand, I think, from last week right away here. Dennis Valls, who just came in and pretty nice, 5 appearances, 3 cashes. Final table, 1 win, gets it done there today. He is, I don't believe he's at our final table today, but we're going to take a look at the last week's hand here. King Jack offsuit, 200K, 400K blinds. He's chip leading. Pretty good hand in heads up poker, feeling good to cover. And he's just going to go ahead and put it right in. And look, ace queen falls, and you're a little behind, but not the end of the world. As you see the Queen Jack 7 flop, turn 4, and I guess as we remember, it had to be a Jack King to end it. There it is. Pretty crazy, right? In these spots, big equity, big money, big ICM, and just these ones where you're slight favorites, and it's just dramatic all the time. But there is a win for Dennis. Congrats to him. Going to get that first win in the GGMillion to tick that off his list of accolades. And I know we've been seeing more of him around lately, so let's see if we'll see more of Dennis. But today, again, a stacked final table, over 360,000 at first. We have a player who has over 25 million in earnings on GG alone. We also have 2 players that are on the GGMillion all-time ranking list, which is pretty cool. You can see their 10 titles, which is just absurd for our turn today. The second place person on this list is Juan Pardo Dominguez, who has over 25 million in cashes on GG Poker, over 13 million live. And you can see 3 titles looking to add to his 4th. He's in a very good position today. And we also have Simon Matson, someone I'm sure you're familiar with, who one of the anchors of poker, over 1 million in live earnings, but one of the guys that online, if you look at the Mount Rushmore, many would put on there for poker. He's just been around for 20 plus years and getting unbelievable results consistently. And you can see he is also on this all-time ranking list. So let's go ahead and look at the prize pool as well as what's going on. A very healthy one, 360,000 at first. You can see everyone guaranteed 51,000 and 1,780,000 the prize pool. 178 entries. Re-entries are allowed. They're available. And this is, again, from Sunday. It plays and it stops Sunday night once they reach the final table. And then today we do play to a winner as we're after the pregame show. We're going to dive right into the action, and very cool. Actually, we get to see the seat selecting. I don't know if you've ever seen this. We'll look at that as the table does start. We're going to take a look at that where they actually go by descending order. So the 9th place has to pick first, all the way up. The chip leader has an advantage, of course, to kind of sit where they would like at the table. So that's a cool feature we're going to have to look at. And we're going to dive right into it. Just a guy, he's got an avatar, he's got a personality, he's got a lot going on. And this is someone, can you tell me about Tony Lin? Tell me about him. I know you played a bunch and you enjoy playing with him.
Yeah, I love Ron. He is just one of the, I think, like a breath of fresh air in poker. You know, every time he's at a table, I don't care if it's like a $300 event or a $300,000 event, and he plays both, right? Yes. He is just like, he is loving it. He is there, like he's smiling. His energy is amazing. Like, I just love playing with the guy. I think he's such a positive force at the poker table. We need more people like him. And he loves to gamble, but he's also someone who I think is an underestimated good player, right? As we can see by his earnings, by the fact that he's at this final table, I think sneakily, even though he has his no gamble, no future pin that he loves to put in the middle when he's all in, sneakily he's a very good player.
It's funny you say that. He is actually someone who I first was introduced to several World Series ago, and I played with him, and he was someone I couldn't figure out right away, right? Like you said, you see him, you're kind of like, man, does this guy know what he's doing? He seems kind of too kind of fishy or friendly. But then I started seeing him more, and then I looked online. I was looking on TV and results and seeing him at these huge final tables, and I was like, oh man, this guy must be really good. Because I only got to play with him a couple times, very briefly, right? So it was hard to tell what was going on. But now you can tell he's probably in Solver World. He's doing some things very well, and he's playing at a very elite level. So again, I'd love to have him on the show here as a guest as well. I know we see his 32 appearances and pretty impressive 5 final tables off his 10 cashes, showing us that I think he likes to play bigger pots, right? He is a little more aggressive. He's kind of deep and goes for chips, which is a nice strategy. And you can see on GGMillion almost $1 million in earnings. Hopefully he'll cross that today, and over $3 million in total earnings on GG. So let's take a look at our next player today, our 8th place Benjamin Miner, someone a little less familiar with myself. He has been on here several times, second final table, and you can see that he has gotten some deep results in the WSOP recently in some of the events, and he is someone that, again, maybe just a little more unknown, but still does have over $3 million in GG earnings. So that's a player I put a little more of a wild card today, and of course that flag. Always dangerous. Those players from this part of the world, they have a solidified every week passport to this tournament. I feel like there's always at least 2, maybe 3 from Austria. So let's take a look at our next player today, who is someone that, again, I would say don't know as much about, but pretty crazy, $9 million in GG earnings, and not really have much GGMillion earnings, although he does have a nice 100% cash, 100% final table, and hoping to get a win today, as he is a little more unknown, I would say, as well. 17 big blinds play with, and someone we're going to be keeping an eye on if they're able to run up from the back of the pack. Still 17 big blinds, Maria, as you know. A lot of chips at a final table. You double one, go and chip up a little. It's a whole new ballgame. So, are you familiar with GGPoker? Because I'm not.
No, I'm not at all. But I have to say, obviously, it's only a sample of 2. But that 100% just looks so nice. You're like, oh, 2 cashes and both were final tables. Like, that's impressive, because it's hard to close out, right? Like, it's hard to get that far.
It is. It is not easy. A little bit of luck, a little bit of skill, a little bit of everything going right. And let's see how he's going to do today. Let's go to our next player today at the final table. And this, you were saying you were excited by the picture. It's not the
this
same
is not
guy.
actually Santa.
Santa, he is absolutely on fire. Really, the sickest heater I've seen in poker, probably history. What he just did, and considering he just started playing and took down a major, and I think got second to Patrick in the 200K, if I'm not mistaken, and then the main event, where he also cashed or 150K, he won. So just crazy what's going on. But that's not who this is. This is a very talented player, though, in his own right. Katz Chu, who does have a lot of experience on the GGMillions, over 8 final tables. Interesting, no wins, though. He is a bracelet winner from 2024, taking down a 3K no limit hold'em event. So again, in good form, 20 big blinds, plenty to play with, and we've been seeing more of him recently. Let's see how Katz Chu will do today. All right, our next player, someone that we do know a lot about. This is, as I mentioned, all-time money list. Have you played with one? Have you got to play with them a lot?
I have, yes. And he is a formidable opponent. He is a very good player, very sharp, very smart. And he is one of those people who, you learn a lot from them when you play with them, but you do not want them on your left at a table.
Yeah, it's someone exactly. Seat draw, those things live in particular, you go show up and, you're looking at your next day draw. He's definitely a guy that, he's not going to give anything away. And you can see the experience here, 205 appearances. That is almost 4 years of Sundays in this specific tournament. 52 cashes in the money a quarter of the time. Also 28 final tables, 3 wins. So, it's the close out there. A lot of probably seconds, thirds, but again, 38 big blinds, plenty of chips, and again, an insane stat, 25 million in earnings on GG alone, 13 million plus live, as we see in the GGMillion, 7 million there alone, as he is on the.
These are humbling statistics, Jeff.
Yeah,
Very humbling.
It's overwhelming. It is a little overwhelming. But all right, so there's Juan. Let's take a look at our next person in the tournament. Simon Matson, someone else again, kind of in the royalty of the poker world, 213, a lot of appearances here, also very impressive in the money and impressive final tables and wins. 3-time winner also on that list, all-time GGMillion ranking. So again, pretty impressive, 20 million in earnings. This is what blows my mind, because I was back playing online poker early on days, battle with a lot of these guys, but 20 million, that is on GG. There are other sites. You're an ambassador of Poker Stars. There is other places to play poker in the world. So to say 20 million, one specific online site, that is just out of control.
Crazy.
42 big blinds, 5 million plus in GGMillion earnings, and you can see on the Sweden all-time money list live, also experience, and has won a bracelet online. So again, someone that needs no introduction, always exciting to see him play and kind of guess. He's sort of unpredictable. He's one of those guys you give ABC options and then he'll find a D. This has happened a lot on I'm watching, like, oh, what's going to happen? I think of what could happen, and then they do a play that isn't even what I'm even considering, which is it's always fun to think why and how they do it, and I'm sure there'll be some special plays today. All right, our next player is a very, very interesting player who is on fire. Took down a Triton Montenegro main event for an insane, I think 4.5 or over 4.5 million. He just got a 5th place in the 200K Invitational. Vaska Bontau is a absolute force right now, and he is in a really good position today with 65 big blinds. Are you familiar with this player? Have you got to play? Have you seen him?
I've never played with him, and I've only become familiar with him over the last few weeks, watching not last few weeks, but like last year, watching him at the Triton streams, and he seems like he's a formidable player, and seeing how much he's won at Triton, I think I'm playing the wrong events. So if anyone watching this wants to buy me into some Triton events, I'm here.
Hey, it's a good place to take a shot, that's for sure. I mean, things happen fast. You can see over $1 million in GG earnings. He has got 71 appearances here and 6 final tables with no wins. So interesting that he is in 3rd position today on the podium, and he finished it off. We're going to get to see a hand from him as well. And again, this is the highlight hands from Sunday, and you can see the stack sizes and the blind level. So it's just sort of earlier on in the tournament. Some familiar faces there as well with Juan and Rodrigo, Leonard Mao, we see a bunch of, and AD there on the left, as well as ElkY. Very, very much regular players for this. We've seen a lot of these guys at the final tables before. He's going to go ahead and open 3s. I think this is a little bit light, right? There's some shove stacks there. Not a hand everyone's going to open in that position, but he does have a lot of chips, and he does go ahead and open into the huge stack of Leonard.
Because he knows it's coming, Jeff. He knows it's coming.
That is a attribute that you can't really put on the scorecard, but that is nice to flop bottom set, unblocks top pair, of course, with the bottom set, and he does go ahead and start betting. Pretty good flop, A7-3 versus Leonard, and he is going to get a check raise, which is kind of curious on this dry board. Not often you're going to see probably check raises here, but he does get check raise. What would you think Leonard might have the check raise A7-3 on this action?
Yeah, I mean, I think that he actually probably does have a lot of ace-X, because he is, he's going to be defending pretty tight, given how, ICM considerations. And if he has like a shitty ace, like you clear out a lot of things when you check raise. He might have some 7x as well, with some sneaky, like trying to turn that into a bluffing hand. But it's so dry, right? There are not that many. You have to try to find your bluffs here, and at a final table it can be hard. Up 5-4. There you go.
We've got the 4-5, which actually is what the real straight draw. That is a double gutter on that
Yeah.
flop. One
Yeah.
kind of draw, nice pick off there. I mean, he does have a full house, loses to ace-7, you know, somehow maybe ace-4, but really nice hand. And that was a huge pot. You see Leonard, who was in control of that table, gave half up there, and again, very aggressive. Probably a lot of history with the players, know each other, played it well, got the set and got it into a really nice spot there. So very cool hand from someone, again, who's been on really good form in the high stakes live events, and let's see if he's able to get a title here today. In third place there he is, MV. We're going to call him, tough last name to pronounce. A lot of tough last names, tough players to go in Scoop. But let's take a look at our second place position today. John Van Fleet. This is someone haven't seen in a while here. Someone that has been a really interesting player over the last, let's say, 4 or 5 years, where he's got into Twitch. I remember that moment where he kind of came in, and you know, on Twitch, I streaming now on YouTube and different places you can do that. But it is interesting because there's kind of this always, I would say, streamers and then great poker players, and then there's at some point these kind of inflection points where sort of great players started to stream some, and some streamers have started to get a lot better at poker as well. So you kind of get like a much higher quality product of information and streaming. John Van Fleet is someone who has been, he's been around. Again, you could start throwing out Rushmore. There's, it may be a bigger than 4 or 5 on Mount Rushmore. You need a lot more, but he's in that conversation. He's been around forever. How familiar are you with John Van Fleet?
I've played with him a few times, but I've never played with him online. I've only played with him live, and he's fun. You know, he's a fun presence at the table. He also has quite a bit of personality, which often comes, you know, when you're a streamer, you're someone who's used to kind of putting on a show and playing at the same time, which can be really hard, right? I don't know how people do it. How do you do it, right? How do you concentrate and play well while putting on a good show?
It's tough. I say this all the time. The Jason Somerville, if I could do it all over again.
Oh my God.
Now I got 2 little kids, and I don't get to stream as much, and I live in a place where I can't play online. But it is, I think that is the perfect thing, is to play 1, maybe 2 max tables. I think a lot of these guys, and again, some of their minds, the Mormons of the world, John Van Fleet, you know, Simon, Nicholas Austin, these guys can play 12, 18 tables. Patrick Leonard, just like it's nothing. And it's hard, but like that is difficult to play. And we're going to get a look earlier stages, 4K, 8K level. But again, one of those guys that just can throw up 12 tables, no problem, stream, catch the chat, and do it. For me, you know, it's tough. I like to do like the 1 or 2. I think that's better. And a lot of time I do more. And yeah, it's kind of all over the place. But he can handle it. Here he goes. 4K, 8K, big blind, Jack 8 suited. You can see Victor Malinowski there. He is, again, another player with a lot of pedigree and history in these GGMillion. He's going to come ahead with a stack at the moment in open. Jack 8 suited, pretty nice playable hand.
Yeah, beautiful.
Does call and flops.
Good flop.
Weak top pair, but still hard to make a pair. Top pair feels good. He's going to check it over.
And backdoor diamonds, so we've got that going for us, and a backdoor straight draw.
Yeah, that's above average flop for the hand. He's going to certainly continue. And interesting that we're seeing the check raises, right? A lot more aggression on this. This is not something I would typically, again, think that this is not standard necessarily, but of course, that's why these guys are playing at a high level, and they're willing to maybe, you know, raise fold or find out where they're at, or they have a reason against the player and the board, and they understand what's going on. So he does go ahead, check raise, now picks up a diamond. So you get called. Not thrilling, right? There's hands you're beating a flip, but he does now decide to slow down. Makes sense. You're losing the hands, and you got some extra equity, so he will check.
Absolutely. And you can very easily check call here, so.
Yep. Yeah, Victor goes for a very attractive sizing to, for sure, continue. Let's see if John's going to be content maybe with the backup. If he thinks he's good, no reason to raise. Does call. Makes the backdoor flush, so he goes from kind of a little bit of no man's land where he's at in the hand, kind of hard to decide. Now he's very high up in the range. And he does it over. And I think, certainly we know he's playing. Let's see, he's setting. Let's see if Victor goes for all of it or what kind of bet. And if he doesn't go for all of it, I'm pretty sure it's strong enough, right, for him to raise check raise all in. But let's see what happens on the sizing here. Victor is thinking about it. I guess he just thinks there's not many diamonds he could have. And he does have a set, does have the value. And you can see that was one of those, you need the backdoor straight, backdoor flush draw. He is in really bad shape on the flop, but he does get his hand and does ultimately get the full double up there as a nice pot. Earlier stages, 4 down. What do you think about the check raise there versus the check call? What are sort of the
I kind of like it because it is a vulnerable top pair. So there are a lot of turns that are going to be really tough for you to play. And with the back doors, if you check raise and you get called, you're okay. Right, so you're not folding there. Without the back doors, I think it would be a little bit iffier, but obviously it worked out here. But your back doors are very disguised as well, so you will get paid, which happened here. So I like it. Obviously, he was in horrible shape. I've been there, by the way. I've been the person with the Jack 8 against the flop set and have gotten there. So, you don't realize how behind you are a lot of the time.
I mean, to be fair, to your exact point, though, if that's Jack 8 offsuit, right, or, maybe not these little nuances of the game at the highest level, it's like golf.
It's a huge difference, yeah.
These things make all the difference in the world for these spots and why there may be something that would be considered out of line versus very much so okay. Yep. And the equities are real and it does matter and it does make a huge difference. So there's a really nice illustration of John's game, not being afraid, going for it, and getting a little bit of luck doesn't hurt either. But well played by him as we see how he is in, I believe, second table. Let's take a look at our one more player here. Lazewski, who is also in really good form, does have a win. You can see also took 3rd place recently in a Triton Montenegro. He is playing those tournaments as well. Over 4 million in GG earnings and GGMillion 1.3, just about 73 appearances, plenty of history here, 10 cashes with 7 of those being final table, and he's chip leader. So again, you can't necessarily correlate things like this, but kind of appears to be more aggressive. One of those things like, hey, look, he's coming with chips, plays for final tables. When he cashes, he's either, he's going for it. He's not just kind of squeaking around. So let's see how he can do today, how he got his chips. Let's take a look at a hand from him. And you can see this is late stages, 35K, 70K, probably 2 tables left, I'd imagine, right? There's 6. That's either, 11, 12, 13 players left there as he is with the King 4 off, and with this hand in the cutoff with Juan Pardo Dominguez and Tony Lynn. I'm a little surprised he's played this.
I was gonna say, how are we opening this?
A little bit out of line, but again,
King 4 suited, we're in there, but King 4 off.
Yeah, he's pushing boundaries. Belarus second all-time money list now, only behind Makita, who has, I believe, 50-something million in earnings. He now has 11 million. And I'm sorry, I have that mistaken. That Lazewski, that I'm thinking of MV over there. I think he's one of the 7 million. He got the 7 million. But Lazewski also in good form and a very talented player. I think Belarus as well, right? He's rocking the Belarus flag. That's why I'm not confused. As we see the 8-9-4 King 4 offsuit flops the bottom pair King kicker. I mean, I guess, look, this is one of those things when people ask me about hands, like, I'm not in this game tree. So I'm not there, but he does go ahead and bet the bottom pair. This makes sense if he's going to play the hand, right? He flops and he's in position. Flops a pair, going to go ahead and bet. See what a cat show. Now the Queen of Diamonds turns. What do you like here as played?
I think that we can continue barreling because we've made a lot of those straights. The Queen is generally a card that favors us a lot more. What queens does the big blind really defend here and call your bet? And he doesn't have the king queens because we have the king. So I think that's actually, but he decides to check. I'm usually, when we do these streams, I'm usually completely dead wrong, and it's hilarious to me because I'm usually like, well, I think that blah blah is the way to do it, and then they do the exact opposite, like 90% of the time, and I'm like, okay.
You play at a high level, and you also have won a bracelet. You're qualified to make your assertions, and I'm wrong a lot too. Or again, that's the cool thing about poker. There's always multiple ways to play hands, and also again, you wouldn't open a King 4 off here. Neither would I. So like we're kind of in a different sort of learning.
Yeah, I'm a nit. King 4 off, and the cutoff is not in my opening range.
I'm not playing it either, and this is now a very large wager on the river. And again, this is a bit tricky because I guess you make the 2 pair though. One of those you probably have to call, right? You lose to Jack 10.
Yeah, you lose to Jack 10. And you lose to, you do lose to a better 2 pair. Like he is, even though blockers exist, they are allowed to have the cards you block. It's like one of these things, when you have ace king, they're allowed to have aces. And so here, you have the king, but they could have king 9, king 8, that they would have absolutely played the exact same way. So I don't think you're necessarily loving it, but I don't think you can fold as played.
Yeah, I think we are gonna get to see it, but let's find out. Just got something down the wall. Excuse me, one sec.
Oh, good. Well, let's see. Yeah,
I don't think
tanking.
we folds, but I guess there's a chance it's a highlight hand. I think he's gonna call.
Yeah,
Right
I feel like he.
Oh, I was just thinking if there's a version where he would fold. Yeah, queen 8. Okay, so he actually does. Yeah, there are.
He got lucky.
He beats for value there, and he does really get a nice run out there as a pretty nasty turn for 2 pairs.
Yeah.
Better. Dude, so there's a look at your chip leader, 3.5 million. Pretty impressive player as well. We are seeing a star-studded final table. Let's take a look at the betting odds for today.
Right.
This is something I don't know if you're as familiar with, but this is a new feature where within the client they price it. So actually, if you are in the GGMillion, you can. I'm sorry, if you're in the GG client and you have a real money account, you can actually wager on who you think is going to perform, and these are the prices that they have set. So I'll let you start. We're going to pick 3 players. We get 100 units. You can go first and take a crack at who you would go today. We can play for a dinner for fun, something if they're okay with that.
Let's do it. All right. Well, I mean, even though I don't know his game as well, I think we'll start by picking the chip leader because everyone knows that chip leaders do have the best odds. So put 50 on the chip leader.
Nice. Okay, well that would ensure a profit. He is a nice favorite there at 2.94 to 1. I will go with my man John Van Fleet, also been on the podcast, and I got a lot of respect for his game, and he streams as well. You guys can give him a follow. He's been a very talented player for a long time, and I'm going to bet 50 on him as well. So he's 5.1 to 1. And who's your second pick?
I am going to go a little down the list and go for Juan Pardo because I really respect his game. He has a stack that's incredibly playable, incredibly spinnable, and I would not be surprised to see him come out on top. So let's put 35 on Juan Pardo Dominguez.
Juan Pardo Dominguez, very nice pick. I'm going to go with Simon. Again, he's been around forever, knows how to close it out. I think he's got some of the most experience here. I'm going to put 30 on Simon.
All right. And then let's do a wild card. Ren, this is for you. I love you. I'm going to pick you as my final pick. Spin those 5 big blinds, baby. You can do it.
Yeah, I had a feeling you were going to go for that. So you got how much on him then? You have the remainder?
The remainder was going to be 15.
Wow, so that's a nice payout. If he can get it going here, that would be quite a hit. And I will have my last pick. I'm gonna go with let's see. All right, you know what? You're giving some action on a deep pick. I'll go with let's see. I'll go with Jacobo. I think. What's that? Is that right? He's got 22. Is that right? 22.5 to 1. So I'll put 20 on that. Take a long shot as well. We're gonna have those. Right. You got 3. I have 3. If any one of those win, then we owe the other a dinner. And of course, it's for fun and at home audience. You guys can kind of play around with that. Take 100 units, see if you're able to make a profitable distribution with that. It's not easy. It's good pricing. They do factor in results, skill. It's not just off the stack size. And we can see some of the pricings vary based on experience and some of the players that we mentioned. 2 here on the GGMillion, the top players of all time, which is pretty cool. It's very rare you'll see 2 at the same final table as that is taking place today. And we do have a chance for some new winners on GGMillion, also a chance for some repeat winners. I believe 4 players have won, 5 have not. 2 of those players having 3 titles each. So we will be taking a look and again discussing more on the analytics of this final table. We're gonna both try to get some things right. Again, it's very very much so a always exciting to kind of be able to see if we can predict what players are going to do at this level. And again, this is 10K buy-in. There is no deal making. This is from Sunday. We play to a winner, and Maria Konnikova does join us today, and she is also the I guess you call it co-host of the Risky Business. That's right, with Nate Silver. Is that how long have you been doing that?
We launched right at the beginning of the World Series this summer, so late May.
Very cool. Where can people follow that?
Anywhere, wherever podcasts are available. So it's a co-production from Pushkin and iHeartRadio, and it's on, Apple, Spotify, everything. All of your usual podcast homes.
That's awesome. That's fun. I know that's a lot of work that goes into that to get it all prepared and
Yeah.
to get it ironed out, and that's really, really cool. And then also
and YouTube. Yeah.
YouTube. If you want to watch, that's awesome. And then you just won a bracelet, and you also have written 3 New York Times bestsellers that have been on the list of New York Times bestsellers. What was the most recent one? I remember one from in the past. What was your most recent one you wrote for that?
The most recent one was The Biggest Bluff, about poker, and kind of poker as metaphor for life. It was more memoir, and I'm working on my next book right now, which is about cheating in games. So that includes poker as well, obviously.
Very cool. Well, listen, we are going to be seeing you guys back in 5 minutes, as we will dive right into the final table action, and we will play to a winner today.
In case you haven't noticed, we're into breaking records at the World Series of Poker. Bigger and better is just how we roll. We did it this summer, as you saw, with the main event. Speaking of the main event, the WSOP just had a super idea for this year's WSOP Paradise in the Bahamas. For the first time ever, WSOP will host the super main event, a $25,000 buy-in with the biggest guarantee in the history of poker. Wait, is that number right? 50 million? What? 50 million? You guys are nuts, for real. Huge prize pools, massive water slides, fun for the whole family, and the chance to hunt bracelets with the beautiful backdrop of the Bahamas beaches just a few sandy footsteps away from the poker room. 15 bracelets will be on the line with buy-ins ranging from $2,500 up to $1 million. Yes, you heard that right, a $1 million buy-in. The WSOP has partnered with the Triton Millions to bring the largest poker tournament in WSOP history back home. So what are you waiting for? Come make history with us again at WSOP Paradise.
Yeah. All right, everyone, we're back after the pregame show. You already got the info, the lowdown on all the players, and we are going to be right into it. We're going to actually get to see the draw for the seats, which is pretty cool. Again, from the shortest stack up to the largest, which is, again, it does add a little bit of skill, a little bit of positioning. It's not always direct left of the next player. As you see, there's that total prize pool, and this is something that, again, a feature on GG, pretty cool, different than most. And we'll see the 51K going to 9th all the way up to 1st for 361. So again, the heads up match going to be pretty intense. There is no deal making, and the pay jumps do start moving pretty nicely. Everyone guaranteed at least 5 buy-ins. You can see 178 entries with 9 remain. So again, to a winner, we're going to see someone, either a new person win or a first-time champion. 101 blinds at the final table. That is a nice thing to have. And you can see actually the 5 and 6 for the short stacks. That is really short. We'll see if they can get going. As you saw, the odds seem crazy. It was like 60 something to 1, 66 to 1. I mean, that's worth the go.
Come on, sure. Run. Come on.
Get it running. That would be a nice spin up there, as we are again to the shortest stacks going to be first to pick their seats. And again, not a ton of strategy on that opening, right? You're just kind of going somewhere as it gets more. It's always curious to see if the chip leader goes to the direct left of the second. Maybe there's a reason to go a little bit in a different place if you respect maybe a couple players' game, or you want to have position on them. But generally, you see players start moving to the left of the bigger stacks as the final couple players choose their seat. Mm-hmm. Have you seen this before? Have you ever been a part of this?
I have, yeah. It's a lot of fun to watch because, it's one of these things where you don't have an opportunity to do that anywhere. So it's a fun strategic thing that you have to think about.
For sure. There's definitely a little something to it. It can matter. And of course, seat drop final tables is always a sweat. That is important depending on your stack and who's where, as we are seeing the players have done this a lot. A lot of these players have been at many final tables on GG, including the GGMillion. And this is getting to the chip leaders. We're getting down the stretch here, and a little bit of a decision for here. He does go, and interesting, he takes the spot there, giving the direct position to the chip leader on the left. So it's kind of interesting if he's going to move now, or if that's just where he's going to want to be. And Simon right there as well. It seems like a good seat to be at. I don't know if he's going to want to move, but he actually does. Wow. Okay, so he moves. That is interesting. And he is going to have Jonathan as well as MB, those two players with big stacks directly. I would think that it would make sense to go where maybe on the left of Jonathan, right? Because you kind of get all those. But here we go.
But yeah, this way, I guess you can also pressure them a little bit more because they have to be a little bit tighter once you open.
Yeah, that's true. That's the inverse of that. Looking at that, where you get to open first and you have direct position on Simon. So versus those players maybe wanting to open, then you have to decide at 3-bet if you want to play a lot.
Oh, and Ren in the big blind first hand.
Yeah, it's a tough draw. Nice for the other short stack to get ace king, gets to get it in and not get called. So a pretty big chip up there.
I don't want one of my picks to lose. Ooh, now he has aces. Let's go.
Oh, now will he get action? I guess. Yeah, it's just gonna be a shove for Jonathan, right? Yeah, he's just gonna shove that effective, and that is quite a spot. Ace 3 offers aces, and we have seen a lot of aces handed out recently at GGMillion. Ooh, little sweat. 3 times for the 3, and he
no 3.
Help, or it is going to be a that was
close,
right in the wheelhouse, but a double. So there he goes. Ren is off and running the nice hand. That is Benjamin does not want to see that. He doesn't want to see the short stack double. He was also the shortest stack, and now we see a little bit of that 60 to 1 is gonna, or 66 to 1, whatever you got, is a little different price, I'm sure. So you already got a little value on that pick, as it is a.
Let's double again.
Yeah, short stacks have gotten through. They've gotten two times big hands and gotten 1 no call, 1 double here. As Jack 8 suited going to call, it's dominated, but it is
but
suited.
Flops well, yeah.
Yeah, Jack 9 off again. This going to get to see MB be able to attack these type of boards, small bets, and get some better hands to fold. In this case, he actually has the best hand.
Yeah, it's actually it's kind of crazy when you watch when you watch streams where you see the cards up coverage. Like, it makes such a huge difference when your hand is suited. Like, it really makes it so much easier to play. But here we see that, the Jack 9 off ends up winning anyway. You obviously have to be more careful when you're at a final table. And as we saw, the pay jumps are huge, right? So there's a lot of ICM pressure there.
Yep.
And it's a disaster if Jacopo, us between one of the mini stacks. Like, what a nightmare.
Yes. And to your point too, I mean, there's some of the principles of poker, the biggest one's position and having nice playability to your hand. So those are sometimes, I think, position, takes the precedent over the suited, but that was again both players missing completely, and you get to see the Jack 9 off just get to take it down here as again 5's going to fold. ICM doesn't really want to flat. Gaming's risky. And he does get out of the way. And there's a cash out. Closing the action, Queen 6 suited. Also seen some really short stacks. Just doesn't want to get involved.
Absolutely.
What do you think there? I mean, is that close? I think.
No, I mean, I think you need to fold because, like I said, you have these 2 ultra short stacks, and like it's disaster if you end up getting it in, and you just might be in a world of hurt. You don't want to be flipping there either, right? Like he had ace 9. 5's like. It's just that's a flip, but you could be up against any pair, and just be in a world of pain, and you don't want to get it in, and you don't have enough chips where you can flat either, even though you're going to be in position. And the chip leader is not going to let you like get away easily, right? There's going to be betting involved. It's not just calling one. You just don't have the odds to set mine.
If he gets away from this, because this is again somebody realizes it's going to be super active. There's a lot of players behind. I would like to see him fold 10 blinds here. He is going to. I guess he just decides this player is opening Jack 9 off, and he's going to.
Yeah, and he gets.
Got the over ace Jack. It's not.
All right, ace.
Got the Jack. Got the wrong one to start. Needs an ace or a Jack.
King.
Now he needs a king or a Jack, and
nope.
And that is, I would like to look at that one. I think, that might be a little out of line, right? First of all, he's under the gun. Yes, he's probably an aggressive player, but also there's all the players behind you too, and you have 10 blinds. You're not the shortest. And again, I think showing you what Ren's game's like. He is not afraid. He's not afraid to bust. He's not afraid risk premium to give up a bit with the shorter stack and putting it on the line. So it does take a little out of line, and that's probably a read player dependent where he just feels this player is just opening. I think it's king 4 off maybe, where he was opening, if I'm not mistaken. That might have been Lazuski, but either way, he does go for it and doesn't work out there, as he is going to be our 9th place finisher and one of your.
All right, my long shot didn't make it.
That's all right. Hey, that was a 60-something to 1 odds. Hopeful. So you didn't have to get the fake sweat. It's out of the way. He is not going to get it done today. And again, love to have Ren on the show in the future, and a great guy for poker, and always seems like he plays a lot. Like he is playing everywhere. He's online, he's live, he's playing $300 and 300Ks. That's a wide range and pretty active. Just gets his poker in his fix for sure. So here we go. 9s to A7 suited. 2 of the more experienced players here gonna be battling, and John has an option how he wants to play. He wants to kind of sit back and call, which makes sense. Also flops top set. That's convenient. And
he's very talented at flopping sets.
Yeah, he's got a few sets. That helps. That definitely helps. It's tough when you're a great player and you're also making hands and getting let's see if A7 suited is going to want to start barreling here. I mean, the 9-5-4 decides to check back, and a Jack of hearts on the turn.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think with the ace-7 on that flop, you want to tread a little bit carefully because you're covered, right? And if you get check raised, like you're in a pretty good position. But if you have, peeling one is going to hurt if you get check raised. So I like his check.
Yeah, and now A7 suited sees a lead here, although you do beat a few hands, some straight draws, flush draws. It's just sort of no man's land. You really know where you're at, and you're ahead even if you can hold on. So does not get a lot of action for a set, but John does pick up the pot, and you can see Simon there. It's another thing, a reminder out there, you don't always have to c-bet. You can delayed c-bet, you can check down. You have a lot of different ways to play hands. I think you generally see people c-bet. That's like a standard, continuation bet, but it's not always needed. And there you see how you save a lot of chips in a spot where he actually was really bad shape and does go away. Now 9-10 suited. John does not decide.
Interesting.
I think a little bit of the implied odds, right? Simon stack, if maybe a bigger, closer to his stack, maybe would want to play, but doesn't feel the juice and the squeeze. Gets out of the way there as
another ace king for our short stack.
Yeah, and this is going to get called for the extra chips. It's just too little. King
Yep.
10 suited, he's king suited. We are going to see a double or another knockout. King 10 suited is behind as the running straight or clubs. There's the
Ooh,
club.
what a turn.
Usually sweats available. You can see the player profiles span out on the right screen. And Benjamin
Nice
Miner
hold.
is going to get it to a double. So for one of the 2 short stacks, going well for him. Someone's already been knocked out, so now he's at least getting 8, and now he has over 10 blinds. So pretty good shakeout thus far for Benjamin Miner. I believe he hails from the USA originally, has about 800,000 in earnings, has played on Poker Go from Atlanta, Georgia, if that serves me right. But he is on the Hen and Mob looking at the statistics. He is repping the Austria flag, maybe spend some time in that part of the world. I think Austria today, I don't believe we had a Brazilian. That's one of the first times ever. Austria, of course, here they got 3 flags at least, and we are really, that's been consistent. Brazil generally here. Belarus got a couple flags today. And who would you say stereotypically? Do you have a country that you kind of with that? Say you don't know someone and you go to your seat, the day 2, day 3 of a tournament, and you look at the flags. Is there any flags that you kind of instantly garner respect to? Just like with oh, I don't know who he is, but I think or she, but it's
I mean, Austria is definitely up there because at this point, all the best German players live in Austria. Like, you have to know the tax situation. Like, the best players gravitate there. Like, if you're making a lot of money, that's where you want to be. And then obviously when you see a Brazilian flag, you're like, okay, like this is going to be, I'm not going to be able to have any spots where I don't get 3-bet or 4-bet.
Yeah,
I have to tread carefully.
To be fair, Brazil, I think that they were kind of out of line for a long time, but I feel like there's so many tough Brazilian players, so many of the highest stakes players now, and maybe it's still true that they do like to play a few more pots and a little more active, but the game quality, like the quality of the Brazilian player, it's one of the fastest growing places in the world for poker, and I think the quality per player has really gone up a lot. And good point, like that, they're not, and this is Illinois. Does he have a flat here? Could you flat? Do you flat? I generally have been seeing the clickbacks rarely trappy, although in position this time, and you are covered. I'd be curious. There's merit to both, right? If he has kings or queens or ace king, you might get it all now. If you just trap, you do run the risk of, okay, yeah. So he does. I don't see the flat much anymore. You don't see it too much in that spot. Where would you want a flat? What would be some properties to decide a flat instead of re-raising there with the aces?
At the final table in this particular situation, like, I think I am getting it in with kind of my best hands, and obviously you need a few bluffs in there as well. Maybe those king 4 suited. Just kidding. You are not 3-betting king 4 suited under the gun 1. In a different scenario, you might be.
Well, we're gonna maybe see a ace king suited go ahead and get a double again.
Wow, he's just been ace king, ace king, ace king.
Result, hard to hold 2 times, almost the same. That's off in a 1.1 for Benjamin.
And look at that! Look at that run up. That could have been run.
Yeah, it could have been Ren, and now we see John Van Fleet with the chip lead 4.8. Yeah. We had a Lazowski, 2 really big stacks, a couple short stacks, and today a little more parity with the chip distribution. We saw actually the last stream was a record long stream. There was, I think, with 7 left or 6 left. It was everyone had like the exact same stack. It was crazy, and that sort of dictated a really long, drawn out. Generally when you see big stacks emerge and short stacks, there's a lot more all-ins, a lot more collisions, and things kind of get going a bit quicker. But today that seems to be the case where we do have a really short stacks and some really big stacks early on here. 6 and 4-10, both with a pair. And 10-4, MV's been allocating chips in different places. Here he does have a hand in a solid pot. It is a spot where, you see, I mean, again, he's got top pair, weak top pair. He's been called a couple times. Just confident for value here.
Well, yeah, I think that's gonna get called a lot. He
with his game's style, I think he gets called a lot more liberally. And this is, again, knowing this with the opponent knows that, it's tough, man. These guys are tough. When people play
Metagame.
top poker, they're tough to play against, right? Because
Yeah.
it's like, when somebody you have pegged is tighter or super, super loose, it's a little easier. But when someone's just like tough, capable, and put you in tough spots here, you can see Simon is really taking a long time with this bottom pair from the flop, which is now, middle pair. But he's thinking, I don't have an 8-9. I block some 2 pairs. What value does he have? I don't have a club. Maybe some sort of, he does get.
And he does get the call.
This Simon, who gets it right so often, has a bit of a misstep there, and again, just tough to play against. This is why one of the reasons this player is having so much success, and he's well aware of his image and how he's perceived. And using that accordingly. That's why I think poker's in such a great place, because it's just, you can always, there's so much you can say, oh, people are playing GTO or playing this, but there's so much exploits, there's so much creativity now, and there's so many different ways to go about playing hands, and it's really, really exciting to see the highest level of play. And
these are our picks squaring off, and Van Fleet has just been flopping huge. He has not missed a board, I don't think. He's just been
got a style. Everyone has a style. This is a very good style to be able to make sets, make top pairs.
I mean, that's a really good style to improve to 2 pair. Like, I think I need to take lessons from him.
And he's going to check call and now check it over again. And King 6 a little bit, does it want to keep betting? Does it really do a lot? Because maybe don't take a 9 off. You already had the best 6. Yeah, I think checking makes sense, right? You don't want to blow it against 7, 8, 4, 5 suited, something like that. You can play it as a check, maybe call, check the side. And of course, for some big size in here, now all of a sudden the 6 gets a lot less attractive and you can kind of get away fairly easily. Of course, you do beat 4, 5 and 8, 7, 8, a few hands like that. But ultimately, I don't think enough hand here.
Yeah, and I mean, if you look once again at the stack distributions, these are our 2 chip leaders, right? So that matters when you have some small stacks and a lot of middling stacks. Like, you don't want to lose that position. You don't want to become a middle stack, because that will really make it, you'll be in a very different sort of headspace and payout space, and your strategy is going to be definitely much more constrained. So I think that that's also a consideration here. But John Van Fleet, he's been actually quite straightforward, but it looks like he's been crazy aggressive, right? He just keeps having the best hand, but he keeps, betting, 3-betting, but he keeps having it. So, but it's very funny, because obviously not all of those hands have gone to showdown. Wow, we got a call.
Look, again, same thing, high level players. He's thinking, I don't have a 4, 5, 8, 7 in my hand, or 10, like thinking about it. And then he's thinking, I maybe favored more with the ace here. Does he really, what is he betting for value? What hands does he have that he called flop and then he can bet confidently there? So again, high level stuff. It may look light, but again, these guys know what they're doing, and they know how they're perceived, and they know, they have a lot of experience with each other. Very interesting hand. John Van Fleet now, the leader of this tournament, has some separation from second.
Yep, and he's one of your picks, so I know you've got some extra riding on this.
Yeah, this is definitely, we actually are in the same neighborhood, right? We're in the same vicinity, so I might have to the dinner could get capitalized out here. I have a Google sheet of like all the guests and dinners and who, what. It's kind of, it's hard. You got to capitalize when you can. But right now, Kings, a lot of play left. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. This is wide open, and a lot of times it's even one of the ones we don't pick. Right? There's
absolutely
third from you, third from me, third from just in the randomness. And here, Queen 10. This guy likes to play. He likes to party, and he has got now a short stack with a real hand, Kings, and
he's another one of your picks. You're just
yeah. I mean, he's got Jacob. This man's got a lot of work to do.
Yes, he does. But never say never.
Benjamin Miner already from the depths. He is back into a pretty decent position from being super over $1 million. Plenty of chips, 20 blinds. Feels nice from when you were in the very short position as Lazowski would boost it. Some of these guys.
I was going to say, is he going to get? Yep, I was going to say, is he going to get naughty?
Disregarding all kinds of things. The ace-7 suited. This actually, I mean, this could go 3-bet. John Van Fleet with 10's going to have a decision. Then ace king's back there too. Ace
if you have 10s there, by the way, as John Van Fleet, and it did get 3-bet, that would be a really tough spot. Yeah. Because you still have 3 players to act after you. Like, it's you're not loving your 10s.
No. And this could actually, this is opening the door,
Ooh.
Jacob, the risk
Oh,
premium.
it's a great, it's with the, and he's the short stack, so, you know, he's got nothing to lose. So I think it's a great shove spot.
Right. He's thinking a Lazuski is one of these two guys are chip leaders. They could be a little more liberal with their chips.
Yep, there you have it.
Take it. So it's going to go. Oh, wow. Well, first of all,
Oh, and we have ace king.
Interesting what John will do. I guess he's probably going to, Lazuski obviously will fold. And then tens.
And I think as Juan Pardo, you're going to get it in. Yep. Deuce is out of there. Tens. Yeah. What do we do?
So you're worried now. You cover Jacopo, and you are now thinking about the 1.5. How strong a range? It's open, flat, squeeze all in, and
yeah, and he folds.
And you get out of the way. Now ace king goes from behind to ahead. Now it's to fade. A queen to chop, jack, 6 to chop, jack to lose. Tens was ahead. Would have been in a really good position to scoop a major pot. That's a deuce. That would have been all John with the knockout.
Wow.
A lot of chips. Instead, one gets, and that's the type of butterfly effect we see in poker.
Yeah.
Crazy one part of the Ming is that's what you get 25 million in GG earnings and 13 million live. You get a couple breaks and a couple little nuances to the game, goes his way, and now he's all of a sudden got 2.5. He's in 4th place, and we are down to 7.
Yeah. And I don't blame John at all for folding because Juan is not going to be out of line there, right? Like that is, he clearly has a hand, a good hand, and your tens could just be dead, right? Like it's
he's never got nines.
No, he's never got nines.
Flipping at best. I got a great stack. I'm chip leader.
Exactly.
In places to accumulate chips without high variance spots and that's
exactly. No, I think at that point, like ace king is the bottom of his range, right?
Yep. Yeah, really folded pretty quickly. You can see the chess clock as well. Those at home see those numbers in the middle. Everyone gets that amount of time to act within the final table, 15 minutes. You can see a lot of players have used some clock as we are already, let's see, we've seen a lot of action for 30 minutes. We've seen multiple all-ins, doubles, knockouts, and
what a flop, Josh. It's just,
wow.
We've got straight against top pair and nut flush draw.
Great check back there. Decides, hey, I'm a little bit of pot control, a little bit of under repping hand, and also just realizing that you do lose to a decent amount of hands still. So he's going to just go ahead and get a really affordable price to win a huge pot on the river. Somehow hit this hard. A 7 would be really bad for him. A king is
great. I think he can get away.
Yeah. And a7 probably pretty comfortably check back, right? This is could have been a lot different outcome for either player. Had a chance for something crazy to happen there, but as it stands, Juan Pardo, things going well for him. Gets the ace king ace jack instead of tens and out, and now does not get hurt there with the top pair nut flush draw against top Broadway. So again, just kind of get a little bit of a glimpse into his mind, how it works, how he approaches games, and how he's also able to bob and weave, and a bit of luck there too, of course.
For sure. No, that run out was good. I'm actually a little bit surprised that he flatted a 7 suited after the under the gun open. But once again, they've played with each other a bunch. And so, you know, that might actually not be a bad strategy if your opener is way too loose and out of line. But I was actually surprised. I personally, with no history, would have folded with 3 players to go.
Jack, king 5 suited, out flops.
Yeah.
And then John, I mean, he's
like I said, he's just been.
This is going to be tough to take him down today. He has got so much.
He is running pure. He is just
tip leader, and he's got himself a winner on the river if he can get to showdown with king jack off with the jack of clubs. Definitely, if you're thinking of,
it's a great hand to bluff. You are, You've got and that small bet looks exactly like what it is. Like it looks like he has a small pair.
Yeah, he's block betting, and he is actually accomplishing a lot here, except when he gets shot up here to like 600 or 540, that's where it's tough. And this is one of those hands where this is from Lazuski. He's thinking, is he inducing or is he blocking? It's one of the two pretty much. And then when you look at your hand, you're like, well, I have a jack of clubs. It's a pretty key card to this river formula. He doesn't block any straight. So that's maybe thinking that he does go for
there we go. Yep.
And honestly, this would be a pretty tough ask to find this call.
I mean, it would be a sick call if he managed to find the call.
Yeah.
But
so let's go over to John now. You're John, and you're thinking, okay, is this player?
I don't have, yes. I don't have a club, so that's great. Right.
Not great to call. It's great for he's not loving his properties to call. It's not, he doesn't have any really key cards there. So he doesn't think long, but nice execution from
for sure.
Nice. Yeah. High level stuff. And there you go. That the dominated hand ends up winning, but does it in a creative way and had to bluff.
Yeah. I was wondering if he was going to do the flat or the 3-bet. Went for the 3-bet. I think either way could work here.
Yeah, a lot of chips in that row there between John.
Absolutely. You've got the chips just completely concentrated up in that little.
And I would like to understand the seat selection exact reasons. I mean, it's kind of, you can make some guesses on Lazuski going there instead of left of John, but I would just think it would be a little better on John because you have position on all those. But to your point, I think how deep they are, that was his thought that, hey, I actually want to be able to have position on Simon, who's one of the most experienced and great players with the stack, and then also open before these other players because we are deeper. So that makes sense, actually, kind of counterintuitive thinking, but I think that's
I mean, once I saw his seat selection, like that backwards reasoning, that seemed to make sense because, opening, if you get to steal a lot of those tiny pots that don't really belong to you, that's huge, right? Like if you get to open wider and you get to take down the blinds, like you're going to chip up. But
then that depends. Like you also then are the players behind, or do you think they're going to flat you or 3-bet you a lot, or are they just going to respect a bit of ICM and maybe let you?
I mean, I think that's kind of that's the thing. And if you think they're good players, they're probably going to respect the ICM a little bit.
Yep. Well, also knowing that players are opening like king 4 off, these type of guys in the pot. So that's the thing. There's not going to be it's either like open light 3-bet tight or open tight 3-bet light sort of mindset. I think that was the
you're a poet, Jeff.
I mean, yes, I well, that's an old age expression. That's like a good fundamental strategy to do. You either want to come and do one of those two things, not both. As we see, fives do get to take it down, opening into the two of the shorter stacks on the blinds. That hand as the aces counter. How many aces today? We've had 2, right? I think we've had 2. I think we had 4 for one player. Like a month ago, there was one player at 4 times. There was 9 or 10 at the final table given out at that final table. So we're off to a. So
yeah, we had Ren and John, right, with the aces.
Yeah, they don't come often, but they look pretty when they do, and it's always nice to hold
they do.
At a final table. And if you're short stack, nice to get them as well. And Akash here with a very, very jammable king queen off, and couple, he does decide to not jam. And interesting if Simon will read this as a take a spot or if it's looking strong and he's going to get snapped off. But again, this is where the reads on the player really make
absolutely. Like,
does he have to have kings, queens, aces, ace, king, or does he have the king, queen offs, king 9 suiteds, ace 3s and stuff? That's
and if you're a good player, and then you will have those. You will have a few of those bluffs in there. You can't just open your aces and jam everything else. It's not a winning strategy.
Look at that swing though for Katsu. If he jams there, he's probably going to pick it up. 6s maybe call, and then you're flipping, but I probably would not call.
No, I think that if 6s end up folding, Yeah,
it would be folding. So again, a swing, and I'm a little surprised when you're going into Simon. And then 2 of the chip leaders who are very active to like kind of taunt them, min raise, sort of get cute, and like you're inducing in a way that guys that are going to take it. I'm a little surprised.
Oh my God, how is John going to win this pot? He somehow did not flop trip 6s.
It'd be hard. Ace jack on the ace 3 running spades is good. That would be good.
Yes, absolutely.
Likely to
But
call.
but yeah, just the other week I was final two tables of the NAPT main event, which was here in Vegas, and I picked up aces, ended up getting called, and we got it all in on the flop, and I was against two pair, so that did not, and then I counterfeited the two pair and ended up being able to chip up. That was a huge spot where you see that sometimes you min open your aces and you get punished for it.
Yeah, that's well, that, I mean, yeah, you want the action and then sometimes you don't. But this is very interesting. So that ace 3-3 doesn't put any bets out. And now on the river, he actually did have an opportunity with the running spades where he got a free crack at it. But now on this run out, I mean, it probably won't work out to get any kind of value. But interesting to check down there, not bet at all. A little surprised.
Yeah, and easy fold at that point.
At the same time, doesn't need much protection. Did have a spade in his hand. Also, maybe gets the opponent to bluff or maybe catch up on a river and pay one bet off. So again, I don't mind
absolutely
that.
And as we've seen, it does look like John's been incredibly aggressive because they haven't seen all, a lot of those hands haven't gone to showdown, so it looks like he's been bluffing a lot when really he's had the best hand a lot. So if you're just watching that, then you might be waiting for him to bluff to put out a bet.
Yep, and Lazowski is going to take a spot here. He's going to put the pressure on, committal 3-bet, and they're going to run it to a. We're going to see five flip. Sevens is ahead to ace king, as we do see the king immediately.
Not anymore.
Would be available. Ace now on the turn needs still only a 7, or we will still say 7-handed, as it is not always coming 7. You see the slow peel face card, and that is a double for Katsu. For team, the Austrian flag going to keep in there as Lazowski going to shift some chips over there. So
come on, Lazowski.
Yes, that is your guy. It's going to get ace king, doesn't have to stew long, going to get to create right back into the action, open it up, and no one much of anything.
No, he's just going to get folds there.
Yeah, big swing for the final table there. So 1.4 million now.
For sure.
The Katsu and Benjamin Miner is our short stack with 700,000.
And he was the second shortest stack coming in, so not much has changed in terms of the top 3 chip distributions have moved around, but otherwise we actually are seeing it hold pretty steady.
So Juan Domingos has won 3 titles, Simon Matson 3. We also have John Van Fleet and Lazowski with 1. So 8 titles between the 9 players. 4 of them have won, 5 have not, and we'll see if we will have a repeat champion or a new champion. Still early to tell. We are going to see again to a winner, no deal making at the GGMillion final table. 360 up top, be a healthy about 78K heads up match that we'll get to witness today as Queen Jack.
It's exciting.
All the way from pre-flop to river.
Yep. And we do see that small bet. I think at that point, as played, you're pretty sure that your hand is good.
Yeah, it does go ahead and pick it up there. So we are still 7-handed. I think so far, I mean, nothing too crazy. We've seen a couple light opens. I think
he just does not care. The 3's opening again. He just does not.
Yeah, it's definitely disregarding kind of opening positions. At the same time, he's got a big stack, and he is also very comfortable post flop, and he is going to open up here and get out flopped with the 7 suited.
Yeah, but he
certainly going to play for at least a bet here.
Yep.
Yeah, he's thinking, maybe there's some merit to check raise, find out where he's at, but let's see. It might just I think standard
he calls, yeah.
Scary turn.
And it's a great turn for the opener because that ace king just hits you so hard. Even though here you have 3s, and 3s with a heart, I think is a great 3-barrel hand here.
Yeah, definitely.
Because you're unblocking all the 1-pair hands that are going to be, in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, Simon, although suspicious with the player and the understanding his game, this would be almost impossible to handle.
Exactly.
As the exact situation, even if you're ahead, you're gonna have to hold on and maybe just
close your eyes and hope for the best. And hope that
tough.
there's no third barrel, which is not happening.
Right. Yeah, and then still be good, right? And then even maybe a
Exactly.
what happens, you're guessing and not sure if you're even ahead. So can't blame them for folding. And another nice bit of momentum there.
Yeah. Oh, and now look, he's got queens.
And Juan Pardo Dominguez, this could get
this could get expensive if we decide to use that as one of our 4-bet bluffing hands, which we know it's it's so tempting.
It is tempting and very quick. A big 3-bet though, so not gonna,
so yeah, makes the decision easier.
Those are always in game interesting if a player like that versus them as a sizing of the 3-bet, because it's something you don't get a lot of sample size. So does he induce with some bigger hands? Does he just go big always? Is it the same? What are the factors there to go, just 3.5, 4x, or just go really big? And he does go really big here as we see another big pair, kings to Jack 9.
I was going to say before the flop, I was like, so is he flopping a straight? Is he flopping this flush? What's happening?
It's also a good style to have, right? To either flop, you basically hit the nuts or like a massive flop, or just completely miss. Here, if you get the jack high, it's tough. And he does respect the board where the big blind range on the 3-2-6. So he does decide to check. And now the 4 clubs, this could be more appealing for John to start bluffing, and it could work out really well for Juan, as he is scared probably of the board, but at the same token, this is a 0 equity bluff from John that if he just closes his eyes and calls down, it will work out for him.
Go Juan.
Does it? Queen though, queen of clubs, and this card probably less John to rep, right? The bigger cards, Juan opening, he's defending big blind. So this is kind of if you're telling a story that you have a 5 or a flush, like this would not be a card that you really get to bluff. So that is again, Juan's gonna be happy to see this, and can't imagine going for value. He might be thinking he's got to turn his hand to a bluff, right? Do I want to bluff?
I'm curious whether he's gonna do that or whether he's just gonna check back.
I think that's very interesting, and the sizing though is
it's really interesting sizing.
This hand, this is one I would like to look at and talk about with
Absolutely.
someone. This is definitely curious by what I think. I mean, it's essentially he's bluffing, right? Is that what he's doing on the river? But the size, I'm surprised he doesn't check or bet bigger. But again, does get it done and does end up taking it down.
Yeah, picks up a nice little pot.
And minor gonna get a nice.
Yeah, are we gonna jam?
Yeah,
10 bigs? No.
Wow. That's shocking, because against the player as well.
Yeah, he's just been so active, so active.
That surprised me, and we got a mystery hand for Maria with the 10s on the button for John. So we're going to get to see his card. This makes pretty straightforward open so far.
Yeah.
Oh, Jack 8-5. What?
Pretty good board for 10s.
Yeah. Check back. You like the check back or small bet on that flop?
I like the check back.
Ace of clubs turns and
come on.
Yeah. Makes a set. I mean, so what? Queen, king, queen, 9. There's been no betting at any point. You have pretty much the nuts other than queen 9 or queen king. Yep. And he's going to lead out. So do you raise? You have to raise.
I think you have to raise at this point.
Right. And then
this is his third set.
The problem is if you raise and then get re-raised, I guess you would then decide to fold. It's probably one of those where you're too strong, but if you do hear back after this action, you wouldn't like it.
Yeah, no. And to be clear, like Juan does have queen 9 there. Like that is
right. I mean,
absolutely.
It was defend and then check down. He also could have queen king. Sure.
Absolutely.
I think so. The interesting part here, if Juan, I think we're going to get to see a raise probably, is most likely, because this is how it's going to most likely turn out. It's a mystery hand that we're going to see a raise. The curious part is, I think, does John get to credibly have queen king or queen 9 here? Because he would bet queen 9 on the flop, right? or the turn. So like that is sort of the problem with the tens when you value raise here. You don't get to have those hands. So then it opens up the opportunity for Juan to maybe bluff or maybe overvalue, a hand such as ace eight or ace jack that he would even defend. So like what would ace jack do? Ace jack, does he think, well, you don't have queen king or queen nine because you would have bet the flop, you would have bet the turn. So now you're raising me, you can't have that. So now you're at like the actual top of the possibility of range. And tens, obviously, a rivered set is kind of wild, right? That's just like not a likely scenario. So this is, if you get raised here, like you then have to think actually that because I can't have queen king or king one, queen nine, maybe I do still have the best hand. So this could be sick. If we see a huge raise or shove, I mean, this is actually would be one of the cooler hands that I've seen. For sure. He also might just call, and that's still a mystery hand because as played. And he has, okay, so he does have 5-8. They're going to show us what he has. And
wow.
Raise this. So it's probably,
what a river for John.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think he's not thinking of shoving, so I doubt. I mean, he must just, it's call or fold, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
I don't think he would turn this hand. There's be no real point to turn this into a bluff. I can't imagine.
But it might work if he does.
Yeah, but again, that's the interesting part. He's confused because what hand does he?
What hand raises that river?
It isn't queen nine, queen king, which we can agree doesn't have.
No.
And then it's like, what does he have? Ace eight that he didn't bet, but would he not bet the turn? That doesn't make sense.
I think we're betting the turn with ace eight.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So that's why he thinks maybe he's got, it's just such an odd hand. Very interesting all around. But
so John has just been running like God. Wow. So he's obviously out flopped, and then he ends up just getting there. All right, do we go for it? 20 bigs
against the player again whose reputation precedes him to be light, and this would be another spot where what Ren tried didn't work, timing bad. This time for more chips and a similar more blinds does
work out.
Worked out, but I do think, I will say, even so, I would imagine Ren would like to have that one back. It was an under the gun raise, 9-handed, 8 of 9. There was still, even forget about the player who's a bit out of line aggressive, there's still all the players behind. It was under the gun in early position. I think that's just a little too experimental.
Oh, for sure. It was a different spot. It was definitely a very different spot. I think Ren should have folded, but we love Ren, and you know what?
Yeah, I'm a fan of his game. What he, like you said, for poker, need more of that in poker, more
for sure
that type of attitude, and just nice to be around at the table, and also does a lot of content,
he loves his Lady Gagas,
Poker's in a great place right now with what's going on. I think a lot of cool stuff, a lot of podcasts, a lot of streaming, a lot of different people. There's like, you can look at Instagram, there's literally Patrick, there's content, people are doing great contents there, people are doing great podcasts. People are doing
aces times 3.
Which an aces again, is it 3 or 4?
4, I guess, and everyone folded.
Are you serious, or do you like to look? If you get a walk, do you look live or no?
No, I never look.
Try not to too, because it is.
I just fold, because why in the world would you look? I just say thank you and fold my cards, because if you have aces, like what is that going to do?
Right.
So
I think it's a negative free roll. I agree. Or you can
I totally agree.
But to look and show, and then you're like, oh, I'm unlucky, or then people even think, oh, well, she had aces this time, maybe she. I don't know. I think there's like a meta.
I don't.
Definitely don't show.
No, I never look unless, like, if the player wants to see, like, if the small blind is like, oh, what do you have? Then I'll be like, well, if you want to look, go ahead. But otherwise no.
I mean,
Jack 4.
The bottom pair and turning into a bluff happens to be the best hand, and Juan's thinking, man, wish I checked this back. He's not buying it, and he can kind of take away 10x from a check raise. But the interesting part is he does actually have a 4, so he does have some showdown, but I don't think the 10x would be one to check raise. So again, the bottom pair, there are some of those you mix in a bottom pair check raise, but this is still an interesting ace jack. And again, John putting a lot of people in some difficult positions here.
Absolutely. And, Juan has really chipped down in these last few hands.
Yeah. And stack to pot ratio about 1 for
Yeah.
one part of the Mingas. And now John, interestingly enough, he beats diamond draws, beats Jack Queen, Ace Jack, Ace Queen. So, and as played Juan, this is not a fun spot in poker. You
No.
get check raised. You think you could have the best hand. You want to show this down. You need to bluff. It's probably too much hand to try to bluff, but at the same time, it's concerning that your opponent checks here. He'd probably almost prefer a bet because he's like, oh, well, maybe he missed diamonds. Maybe he missed, queen,
Right.
whatever, Jack 9 of diamonds or something like that. But when he checks, it looks like he has some showdown value. And then you start thinking, well, maybe it is like the 4X or something weak, but ultimately just kind of can't. You're short circuiting over there and what to do. And I can't blame him. It's a tough spot.
No.
And he does have enough showdown, but not in that case. And $6 million now for John.
Yeah, and once again, he managed to turn the worst hand into the best hand.
Yeah, you got a check raise in, sort of froze his opponent, and
I mean, he just completely got max value with that 4.
Things are working over there.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Legend of the game, and he is having himself a solid day right now.
Absolutely. Your side of the bet looking good.
So far, so good. Lot of play. I've done this too many times to see it. A lot going on. But yes, so far, so good.
I imagine we'll see this Ace Jack opening. Maybe even jamming.
It's crazy how time flies. So we did our podcast over 4 years ago. John was on shortly after you. He's episode 103 of mine, and that was 4 years ago. So I haven't caught up with him in a while, and I would love to have him on as a guest of the show. I get requests to come on. Anyone who participates, plays the GGMillion, please reach out if you'd like to commentate. Always interesting to have players that are actually playing, that are making the final tables, that are participating to be on. And of course, John, again, does content streams and is one of those guys that has been here forever. Love to have any of these players on. And I am genuinely taking things away every time. Like, I feel I'm ready for the Bahamas. Are you going down there at WSOP at all? Are you going to play?
No, I'm gonna do the win.
Yeah. Right. Okay. That's nearby. Look, that's two good options, but that's the state of poker. There's European stuff.
Absolutely. There's EPT Prague. Yeah. There's Bahamas. There's the Win.
Vegas. I mean, there's just so many places right now for poker. Yes. It's very exciting. And Michigan now online for bracelets where you can win. I'm actually, that's where I was born and raised. My parents still have a place there. Like that's pretty cool that like you can actually win a bracelet from North states coming online. I still can't believe Black Friday, April 15, 2011. I cannot believe 13 years later, there's not just poker everywhere. I'm watching fantasy happen. I'm watching, they put up, bet shows on ESPN. They're showing the lines plus 180, on stream.
It is crazy given what's happening.
Poker can't be just
given the explosion.
Florida, if you turn these states on, can you imagine the Sunday tournament?
I mean, they have, it just makes no sense whatsoever. Like, they are allowing just like pure gambling, and they're not allowing something which is a skill game. And it's just like, man, Sheldon, your legacy lives on, and it ain't a good one, and we hate you.
Crazy. It's crazy. I mean, I wonder how the Trump administration, although I guess Sheldon, I think, was one of his biggest supporters when he was alive, and so I don't know how.
And now his widow is as well. And I think she's very anti-online poker as well. I think she's
really. It's interesting. I mean, you got to believe there's a chance that could shift, but then again, Win, right? It's the Blake Win, and does the Celebrity Poker Tour, and then he's very tight with. I think Steve Wynn's one of the bigger donors of Trump as well. I'm not sure where they stand on the gaming stuff, but it's interesting.
Let's see. Yeah. I mean, I'm obviously a huge proponent of just legalizing it across the board, because it's just crazy to me. I mean, states have lotteries, for fuck's sake. You're making money off of just absolute pure gambling that's taxing the poorest people. And here we have a game that's a skill game where, it is absolutely skill, where, the best players are going to win, and you're just not, it just makes no sense. Also, when I'm in New York, the fact that I can just go across the river, sit, literally see where I live, and be able to play, and it's legal. That also
Ryan DePaulo winning that bracelet from the parking lot I think that's one of the most.
It's hilarious
pieces of content of all time. Honestly, that should be yes. Like, you should take that and go to 5-7 suited gets the price in his mind.
And gets, yeah, oh, he was priced in. I see.
And he is going to need some real special runners, not going to get it there.
And now he's drawing dead.
Andrew Minor, patient, past the A7 off spot, got it in even a better spot, and then did get no sweat really on that flop turn. So nice to see him after a million.
John's still running good because, you know, he was very short stacked. So even though he lost, like that's not a big hit. But now we have the sevens. I wonder if he's going to call. And then we have the queens in the big blinds. So this is going to be an interesting hand, I think. Yeah, he does call.
So he's going to again get off pretty cheap because this is just going to be a fist pump.
Yeah, I think we get it in with queens, and we're so excited.
I mean, the question is he short enough where off this 23 or 23 blind stack? Is it just a jam, or can you get cute? Does he have 3-bet bluffs off this stack? Does he want to make it?
I think we can get cute, but I think either way is good. So let's see what do the sevens do?
Too much, I think. 23 to call off flipping at best. I don't think he's going
to. You'd hope, Jeff. He's your player.
That's what we're thinking. But no, I think that's pretty standard. I'm actually surprised he's thinking about it at all there. But he is also could be multi-tabling. We've talked about this. One of those guys that can 16 table comfortably well.
Oh my God, I cannot multi-table at all because, you know, I'm someone who, while I did start off playing online, I'd go to, you know, New Jersey every day playing Poker Stars to get the hands in because you can't, you just can't get the volume otherwise. But I do not multi-table well. This summer at WSOP, I was trying to multi-table an online bracelet event and play live, and I had so many misclicks, including checking back the stone nuts on the river against 2 players, which is I was like, oh my God.
You got a penalty, basically.
Exactly. I was like, what did I just do?
Yep. Yeah, there's, I agree. I think, again, if I could redo one thing in my sort of poker streaming gaming career have been just because the thing is, it wasn't a surprise. I knew it every time. I would wake up, I'd say, all right, today I'm not playing more than 4 tables, no matter what. And I look, oh, there's this and that, and this game, it's fine. I just play 12 tables, and then it's chaos, and I'm watching the chat kind of, and I'm kind of playing, and then, you know, and then the times I had my best results, they were always when I played 1 or 2 tables or my last 2. So I'm somebody's thinking, am I not good at poker? Am I great? And is it just I'm not focused? I don't know. And then I gotta, you know, Somerville 1 table, caught everything on the stream, did play well. He wrote the playbook, and then, you know, I don't know, it's ADD. I don't know if I just can't help it. I just love action. And then I'm I want to say, well, it's better to play more because you're more likely to get deeper, right? Something's going to go well, but then a lot of times nothing would go well.
I mean, look, there are different strategies and different people. I think it's definitely a muscle that you can exercise, but what I enjoy about poker is the deep strategy and the deep thinking, and you can't do that when you're multi-tabling, right? You can't think as deeply no matter how good you are at multi-tabling. A lot of those hands have to become more automatic. You have to just pick which ones you focus on. And I think that the best people who multi-table, that's what they do, right? They end up at the end of the day, focusing on the tournaments where they're going deeper. But for me, it's hard. And I actually want to think through and enjoy the hands that I'm playing. But
yeah, well said. We got 900 here. Appreciate everyone hitting the thumbs up. Let us know where in the world you are watching from. Maria and I happen to be in the same city, in the same building, which we just realized at the break, which is actually kind of wild. I actually have a funny story similar. Something happened recently. I had a friend who introduced me to a friend. They had a poker kind of clothing line, fun thing he was doing. He's like, you should meet my friend. He's in town. So a couple weeks ago in Miami. So I'm like, okay, comes over. We meet. We start talking. He's like, I live in. I grew up in Key Biscayne. I was like, oh, well, that's where I live. It's there's pockets all over Miami area. There's different areas. It's it's an area. And I was like, okay, I live in Key Biscayne. He was like, oh yeah, I grew up there. I was like, oh, cool. And then he was like, I told him where I live. I said, I live in this building, right? It's a building there. He's like, oh, cool. I lived in that same community, but in the houses. So I was like, oh, nice. And then he was like, and then I was like, oh, really? I was like, my brother-in-law lives there, who's married to my wife's twin sister. And then we got to the point where we were talking. He's like, yeah, they got these palm trees this day. And then I was like, wait. And they're like, yeah, we sold it about 8 years ago. And then my brother-in-law lives in the house he grew up for.
That is amazing.
I love this. Before, zero connection. And I was just like, that is trippy. That is actually
So
trippy.
my family and I, when I was a kid, went on vacation in Canada. We're on a deep sea fishing trip, just like, with random people. Um, we're talking to, my parents were talking to this couple, and, where are you from? That kind of conversation. Like Massachusetts. They're like, oh, anyway, same town,
Yep.
same building, same
Yep.
apartment building, not the same apartment, but like here, how funny is
Yeah,
that?
just super. So it is stuff like that happens. That's when I really start thinking about that
Yeah.
Matrix. You on one.
It's so funny. Like in the middle of the ocean in Canada, you meet people from Acton, Massachusetts.
No, that's out there for sure. But we're seeing a lot of coincidences, a lot of players,
Yeah.
a lot of things that again, a lot of patterns here. A lot of people recognize, and again, this is less of a crazy thing where you're going to play with the same people. You're going to see a lot of the same spots in poker, and again, in these type of fields, the high buy-in, lower entry, you do tango a lot. So that is for the viewer at home.
Sure.
Very important to remember. This is the final table. You're going to maybe play differently. A lot differently at different stages early on when the rebuy period is, and once reg closes, then bubble, then the final table bubble. So there are these different points of the tournament where things are, very
this is
different.
a sucky spot for Juan, by the way. Yeah, he does fold.
Yeah, and then of course that's why it's fun. There's GTO, game theory optimal, and then there's exploitive. So you can look, and then you're like, all right, what is the hand I should call queen 10 off with, or what is the cutoff on that spot? And what the book would say, which there is an answer, you could then
aces and queens.
On other aces. I think we're at 5. You do make an exploit, and then you start thinking, well, Benjamin Miner folds 10 blind button open from a loose player folding ace-7 off. So like if you had a spot where you're supposed to call, the book says call. If you're Juan, you're covering. You might take it a couple pips and say, hey, maybe he's gonna be even tighter than most. So that's like the kind of thing. And this is actually going to be a bit of
this is gonna be.
Yeah.
I mean, with the aces, you're like slam dunk. You're so excited, and the queens are trapping. They don't realize they're trapping into aces.
Yeah, bit of pot control. You're right. More trapping. You're inviting a couple players to jam behind that are shorter, and of course you are in a trap formation. But at the same token, you do realize it's not a great scenario to flip against ace king, and of course the outside chance you're coolered kings to aces. So there's a little bit of, I think, a little bit of multiple things happening there. But of course, this player who's aggressive going to look at this as a trap, and as it should be most of the time, happens to not be. And now, just going to quickly get it. Hey, Cats, who's not going to believe these type of timing he's got to squeeze with these hands, and he is in a good position to be in a very new part of the tournament. He's got the emojis, little GIF Rambo. There's Stallone peeking, hoping to avoid. Rambo can fade sometimes. I mean, there is luck about it, the art of the game, and this, and the lady on the river, and that is going to send us into a word from Daniel Negreanu in the WSOP Bahamas. We'll see you in a moment.
In case you haven't noticed, we're into breaking records at the World Series of Poker. Bigger and better is just how we roll. We did it this summer, as you saw, with the main event. Speaking of the main event, the WSOP just had a super idea for this year's WSOP Paradise in the Bahamas. For the first time ever, WSOP will host the super main event, a $25,000 buy-in with the biggest guarantee in the history of poker. Wait, is that number right? 50 million? What? 50 million? You guys are nuts, for real. Huge prize pools, massive water slides, fun for the whole family, and the chance to hunt bracelets with the beautiful backdrop of the Bahamas beaches just a few sandy footsteps away from the poker room. 15 bracelets will be on the line with buy-ins ranging from $2,500 up to $1 million. Yes, you heard that right, a $1 million buy-in. The WSOP has partnered with the Triton Millions to bring the largest poker tournament in WSOP history back home. So what are you waiting for? Come make history with us again at WSOP Paradise.
The rest from there, almost. Wow, that was nasty. You just don't believe it's going to be on
so nasty.
It's so crazy when it runs out like that. But really, a cooler. He ultimately did get the trap. Queens to aces made top set.
He knew it.
Took out a player there. And again, that's one of the power one of the things I like to remind myself in some of the things with poker where some hands just you can't avoid, right? Whether it's like ace, king, maybe queen, and you're short and you get it in, or jacks to kings, whatever.
Yeah, I mean,
the game is built around these pots, and why this MK here and Lazuski's they're opening king four off, they're taking spots, they're generating their own luck, they're making chips and spots others aren't, because then there are the times when you're covered, you can sustain a beat, you can sustain a 4-1 when you're behind, you can win, you can go for a flip because you're covering, you picked up all these other spots. It just puts you in such a better position to win a tournament. Simon Matson, Juan Pardo Dominguez, again, once you get to this level, Jonathan Van Fleet, these guys, you're not given a lot, right? Like they're all playing such at a high level, but a guy like Benjamin Miner, who again, I'm not taking anything away from him. I'm not as familiar with this game. I see, like he's going to pass certain spots. And again, he makes the final table, right? Here he is. Congrats, big score. Done a great job. He's got at least six figures, 107,000 coming his way. But when you pass some of these spots, or maybe you're a little less active, you're kind of forfeiting a chance to maybe win or get a more, and you're going to get a little more, but you're not going to maybe get the biggest score. Again, that's just something I've learned myself in my career. Many times I look at my results, I'm like, wow, I've really, I could have done more. I could have been more aggressive and probably would be better, right? To have better results. I'm going to win more often. I'm going to go out earlier more often, but I'm going to get less sort of like fourths through 12ths. And that's like, that's huge. You start doing the math. You look at, okay, where's the real money? It's 1, 2, and 3. That is, especially on sort of flatter payouts, that that's something that took a while to learn or to get.
Interesting.
To.
He just showed the bluff. That was an interesting choice.
Yeah, he's cooking. This guy is in. I mean, I'll tell you what. This player is dangerous. He is absolutely dangerous form, and people are taking notes. And he's using that. He's aware. People know how he plays, but this guy is literally 11 million, and he got a 4.7 million cash earlier this year and just got 1.5 for fifth.
Crazy.
Yeah, 11 million live range, very impressive.
Oh, interesting. Well, I guess this is one of those boards that does favor the big blind, because it was interesting to see the lead there. A little unorthodox, given 6 left, but we'll see what happens now. We have a top pair situation, so I think now it becomes a much easier call.
Yeah, and how about shout out to Vladimir Korzanin, who is now all of a sudden just got rattled off back-to-back second, first, 3.47 and 4.3 million, takes down
crazy, right?
Like about 7.9 million in earnings in a week period, and just absolutely lit the poker world on fire. I mean, couldn't believe how
while eating milk and cookies.
It's a lot. It's a lot to
with an elf on his rail.
Yeah, you can't really script things and better than that. And that is a magical series for him. Had one cash prior in Cyprus in October this year, and then all of a sudden just
crazy.
Get it done. So that is, hey, heaters happen. It's always, it's a beautiful thing about poker. It's always, you're always a tournament or two away, or, going a little run, satellite, sell some action, get in there and mix it up. And, again, today we are seeing some new faces and less known, and then also some of the most experienced. And again, even playing field, not many sports, not many competitions where you get to compete with the best and you actually have a chance to win. Even when you're at a my significant skill gap, you still have an opportunity to do something amazing. So.
Yeah.
Have you played paddle tennis at all? Or I'm curious. In Vegas, I saw there's one court, one center.
No, I haven't.
You play pickleball or any of that stuff, racquetball?
I do not, despite my last name and
I think that's what made me ask that.
Yeah, it seems like I should play. I mean, I played tennis as a kid, but no, I do not play any racket sports these days.
If there's anyone out there that likes paddle, type of P in the chat. I'm obsessed. I really can't believe how fun it is. I just can't believe this game, how good it is, and that it's going like crazy. He's gonna be getting called here. We're gonna see 5 ace jack suited, dominating Simon, the very dangerous Swedish player who is in trouble, needs a bit of help, that's a start. It's got some potential now, needs a 10 or a king. A 10 would make him the nut straight. It feels like a lot of cards, but that is a low club, and that is GG to Simon.
Yep.
I'd love to have him on, put him on my Mount Rushmore all time. He is a absolute force, and everyone happy to see him leave. out in 6th place, as everyone now guaranteed another pay jump to 136,000. And Benjamin Miner made a couple tight folds, couple past A7 jams on the button open, but finds himself in 5th.
And is he was one of your picks, right? Was he your, or no?
I had Jacobo.
Oh, you had, right. So you have one left, but yours is the chip leader. Well, not quite, but almost.
Second. And you have,
and I've got two chances.
You do. And we he got passed, right? We passed on best.
Yeah. We did. It was because I had my Ren pick, which then derailed everything, because then you felt like you needed to have a slightly more action pick.
Yeah, that's no mercy at the poker table. I think I gave a little courtesy, and it could backfire.
You did.
He is in power right now. He has got 6.7 million, and again, just in good form and playing well, also running well. Look, it's scary, right? When we talk about runs in poker, Bryn Kinney's, Dan Coleman's, Fedor Holz, Justin Bonomo's, these type of just absolute crazy sun run. No one could touch him. Sergio Ado kind of on one of those as well right now, and some of these players. But yeah, this feels like one of those where he's just like things just can't go too poorly for him. And here he goes, chip leader with 5 left by a decent margin.
Yeah.
Juan Pardo Dominguez and Jonathan Van Fleet. John thinking, do I want to go and shell? No stage turn. I just have a 10 to make the nuts, and he is going to put pressure here.
Yeah, and this is tough because we're going to be so short, if we call and we're wrong. It's
you really to withstand the heat. That's the thing. You call here, even and then the river. Are you willing to? He's going to buckle up, and it looks like. And now, does he think John fires a river non-equity bluff here? And I don't know. Maybe with no spade.
Oh, John just gives up. Yeah. I think he acknowledges that Juan is a really good player, and to call that turn bet, like he is strong.
Yeah, he thinks that he has the best hand, and that queen either wasn't the one to go for a bluff with no spade delivering the river, no real extra credibility coming to a story. Does cut the losses. That's important too. To be a great player, it's not just I got a triple barrel all the time. I have to, it's important to understand.
For sure, you need to give up sometimes.
Yeah. You got to just say, hey, that's not my spot. And all right, Juan still 2.6 million here, 5 left. Ace deuce versus ace 7 suited, turns the nut flush draw and does have the best hand and best draw. 5 would also make a straight.
Has a straight. Yeah, he's that's one of the best turns in the deck for him.
Yep, gonna get a fold there. And we see the 3. So 3's 5-handed, short stack, not considering playing. 3's for Lazowski, fist pump open, 9-handed under the gun. So again, different ways to approach game, different ways to play, and of course, different stages and positions matter too.
Yeah. And by the way, can we just note that John Van Fleet has outflopped a superior hand one more time?
Yeah, it's pretty impressive.
And betting.
Oh wow!
Hello.
What do we got, PBF? We got Maria here. We got a final table. Hi, Maria. We have.
Hey, Antonio. How are you?
Be the first. Hey, if I get tired, I might have you sub in for me. Thanks for coming.
Hey, now you
get. We're here. We're doing it. I missed you too, buddy. Look at the outfit. Let me see the hat. Don't give him the hat. Duck down. Look at that.
Nice.
That's quite an outfit. It's 360 to first. There you are on there. This is
live right now.
Yeah, GGMillion. You've been on the show. You know the show well. You've been on here.
So they're down at 5 people.
5 people. Someone's gonna win 136 now, and someone's gonna win that. And we're gonna call that. Maria's in the same building. We're in the same vicinity, and we're in Vegas, and we're calling. Yeah, look at this. He loves the game. He just can't.
Sit down, join us.
Yeah, 5s to ace 9 suited. This could happen right here.
I gotta take my pops to go eat, but what do we got? Ace 9?
Let's see. Go on.
This is for 2.8 million. This is important. This is a ace 9 suited.
Ooh, that's a good.
He knows. It's kind of a coin flip. Needs a 5.
It was never a coin flip. 5s were dead.
Yeah, that was it. GG. GG down to 4. Antonio
I
brings
should
the
have I
heat.
should have listened to Antonio. He knows.
No, he knows a couple things. I ordered food and they like left it at the gate. I think I can't catch a break. This has been crazy. Been a crazy
No.
thing. They literally wouldn't bring it up. All right, guys. 4 left. We are off record time right now. This is John Van Fleet is now 4 million.
Oh, and look, Juan chipping up. Go Juan.
Yeah, this is.
Yeah, this is exciting. Yeah, let's see what. Oh, and the 9-10 now finally makes a hand. And I think, yeah. And all of a sudden, John's gone from chip lead to what, third in chips, 3 out of 4. So things can change quickly. But we are still not home free. There's still a lot that can happen. Watch, Jeff. It's gonna be the one guy there's one person left at the table who is not one of our picks, and watch him win, and then we will feel dumb.
This could be a really big pot, man. This is top 2 open-ended.
Versus open-ender.
Massive pot.
Yeah, and you have the click back, so I think Van Fleet has to call. Oh, he clicks it back again. That is, oh, there you go. Just getting it in. Is he going to find the fold? I mean, I think you have to fold. That's not what you wanted. That all-in is definitely not what you wanted with your open-ender.
Yeah, that could have been played a little bit differently, but at the same time, again, as played, couldn't put it in there. So
yep, and now he's last in chips. That was a costly pot for him. Queen 3 is ahead, but this is going to be tough. No hearts, no backdoors.
Yeah,
gotta get out of there.
Another spot where disposition is powerful. 4 left. This is going fairly quick. We're already down to 4, and again, 8 million. You see these sort of stacks distribute where it's big. There's a big leader, can really put a lot of pressure. He's thinking about it.
Absolutely, and he's just
good discipline to get rid of 1.
For sure, but he's been running well and he's been aggressive. Like it's been, oh, Juan, this is gonna get raised. That was well, I'm cheering on both of them. So they're both my players. So even if we have a big confrontation here, yeah, and you gotta fold.
It's really even from 2, 3, 4 from 1.
Yep.
So you have an opportunity to see if he can run away, put a little separation there. John Van Fleet, Jack 10 suited. Knows that he's going to get some pushback, but does open.
Nice flop for Jack 10, yeah. We've got a lot of backdoors and second pair, and yep, that's just good hand.
This is very different than last week. At this time, I think we were still 6-handed, and everyone had like 2 million. So this is now got a very different feel to it. And again, the players here a little more aggressive today. I think we're going to see a lot of pressure put from our chip leader here. And again, just on such a heater this year, has won a bunch, but no one quite like Santa. That's got to be one of the greatest.
Santa, I mean, it's so good for poker, right? To have him go on this heater on stream, put on such a show. I met him at EPT Barcelona this summer, and he was, I mean, you could hear him from across the room. He was a character.
Yeah, nice 8 million week for him, losing heads up to Patrick Antonius and then winning in the other events.
Yeah.
Which was, I just looked at it.
It wasn't the main, it was the, yeah, something like that. I don't remember. All those buy-ins are so astronomical for me that I'm just like, oh, another, 6-figure buy-in event.
Yeah, pretty impressive week for sure here. Who do you have at home? Who's going to win? 4 left. It is very tight to call other than the 8 million stack there. Of course, got to put him as the favorite here as we see ace jack. And this is interesting because
yeah, we'll see what happens.
He knows he can put pressure on, and again, he's going to do it a lot worse hand. So this is sort of a metagame. You put it in. If you're Juan, this is sort of uncomfortable because you just call, so that'll slow things down. If you had put pressure on there, if you're one, it's a very close spot, right? Your ICM is so
Yeah.
increased with the other two similar stacks, but as played, both players have the same hand, same draw as of now.
Yeah, so I can't imagine this goes anything but call. And whenever I say that, by the way, something else totally happens. So, nope, there we go.
Yeah. Queen, 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 10 board, ace jack, both looking pretty strong.
Yep.
Losing low pairs, but ace jack high up in the range here. And wow, now
Oh,
they
now we
So
now we've got quads with an ace kicker. We're golden.
yeah, this would be something you don't see very often. 4 of 1 card on the board. So he's thinking, does he want
Yeah.
to check with his opponent bluff? I think that makes more sense. Hard to get called by, I guess maybe a king would call you, but he decides to check and hopes his opponent bluffs.
Yep.
But as we see, they will both be having the nuts with the ace.
Yep.
Yeah, I think as of now, and these are 4 of the stronger players from this final table. As we mentioned, there will be if Juan wins, it'll be his 4th title. If John wins, it would be his 2nd. And then the other 2 players, I believe, would be first-time winners. I'm sorry, no, Lazowski is 1 as well. So 3 of the 4.
All right. Yeah, of course. And we're gonna snap call. Yep. Chop it up. But Juan actually wins that hand because he gets to get part of the blind.
Yeah, that's a good point. And the chip leader is actually the only one who has not won before. So he's in the enter game, and this could go. He might just rip this, right? This is
for sure.
37 blinds, but okay, just call a little too much with the 5s. Yeah, just because of the other stacks being the exact same. But yeah, just calls as played, has the best hand.
Good board for 5s.
Flop. I wouldn't have been surprised to see him do it. It would have been, in my mind, way too many chips. But for how he plays, he could have done it. And as now he is in a nice flop for the turn in the lead. And a little frustrating for Lazowski, who knows this is a critical pot. He has a good hand, but his opponent who calls, he's going to be weighted towards suited broadways and middle pairs. And as played, enough showdown checks it down. 5s. 5s good.
5s take it down.
5s versus ace 9 suited. Before we saw a knockout this time, we see a win. He said,
what the fuck?
Not happy about it. 9 million chips for MV. This man is on a heater, on a mission, looking to get his first GGMillion title.
No. We are anti-sweating him because that means we don't get a dinner.
That's true. That's a good point. That is where it's, hey, this is, I mean, it's a wide range of what that could be. Could be a fast food or something nice, but there's a wide range, and we'll see what happens. Deuce is the queen king. Yeah. This actually may get to be like the limp, and then he's gonna raise.
He's gonna raise, and then that might be a jam. I mean, you're not calling deuces out of position, so there you go.
Wow, Lazowski. I mean, that's a tough one to raise fold. He does go ahead with the raise fold.
I mean, you have to, right? You're losing to even all the shitty aces. Like, it sucks, but I think you have to there. And we know deuces never loses, so he was doomed. Oh, they both flop a 10. And this could very well be a chop because the kicker might not play.
Yeah, 10-7, 10-3. Also a player that could decide. He just gets out of the way. So
there you go. It's a battle he didn't want to fight. He's got such a runaway chip lead. All right, mystery hand. Tens again. Our last mystery hand was
tough
10s.
Hand to play. That's a nice mystery hand to have.
Yeah. All right. Let's see.
That was actually a crazy hand. That was such a cool hand. How with the hand, I mean, I would have been interested to see if he got raised back, right? If he had happened to have the queen 9 or queen king. I think John folded, but with that 2 pair, and as it turned out, just no other way to play but call or fold river.
Yep. Great flop for 10s. Great turn. We've got the 10 of clubs. I think we're very happy, but knowing John, he either has a set or already a made flush, or 2 pair, or a straight. I mean, you know, we know he's been flopping and turning huge and rivering huge. So we'll see.
Interesting tens. You block the nut straight. You got the
Yep.
club, and do you want to value bet? The queen's sort of a random card. I think it's very close.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you want to value bet? Do you want to just check it back because he's capable of
I
raising
think
you
he's
with
gonna
some
bet.
bluffs?
It's nice to have the club and block straights. I don't think you're gonna
For
get
sure.
raised with 9x, 7x.
That's true. No, the 10 of clubs is actually a huge card to have there. Let's see.
Big
What
bet.
do we
really,
do?
really nice value bet. Whatever John has, like it. We get the mystery hands we don't know, but now we raise all in. Wow, what would he do here? This is actually, I mean, I don't know how can you call, but you kind of he's got tens on
And
the
you're blocking a lot of the value hands here, right?
This
You're
is six
block-
tens and that we can't see. We don't know. That's we don't know if he's bluffing or not. Gonna find out here in a sec. Either way, they're gonna show us. I think. What do you do here, Maria?
Let's see, I'm the shorty. I mean, I think with the 10 of clubs, like I just close my eyes and call probably and lose.
He blocks 10-8 as well. That's
because
important.
you block all the value, right? Like you're blocking, and you even block a lot of the queen, you know, queen 10.
It is a lot. That's what I'm saying. It's good to call.
What do we think, Antonio? Is he going to call or fold, and is he good or not?
Well, he didn't get the whole action in the hand. The river was check rate.
All I know is no one ever has a hand, and sometimes
a lot of bluffing. It's holding. This isn't even feeling low.
Well, I said I would close my eyes and call, so it's probably a fold because I'm usually wrong, but I would call here.
It's a massive ICM play stuff. Four-handed.
Is he the 10 of clubs? Yeah, I'd probably just pay it off.
Sometimes you got to make him show you.
He does have the 10 of clubs. Yeah, that's kind of the.
Not doing it with just a queen, so.
That's why I said that I would close my eyes and call. Without the 10 of clubs, I think I fold.
84,000. You jam 2.5.
No, he bet 984. Folds. He does have it. Wow,
he has it.
No, he had the flush. Great fold. Not a curious million. He does give up the river there and great fold, great hand.
Wow.
What a spot there. That was intense.
Yeah. Well, as I said, like knowing John Van Fleet and how he's been running, when we saw that turn, I was like, he probably already has the flush. So my first instinct was correct. So just for the record, I'd be out of the tournament right now because I would have called with the 10 of clubs.
I didn't think he was bluffing, but I might have called too. It just felt like too good a hand to fold, and I think I would have. It felt really, really, really close. I think I also would have called, even though in my heart, I just think John in that spot is not off.
Yeah, I don't think given that we're four-handed, but you could second guess yourself, right? You'd be like, he's not bluffing. If he knows that I know that he's not bluffing, then maybe he's bluffing, and you get into honestly, that recursive.
That was such a well executed bet fold there. Like that was a great value bet, and then made a great fold. It's hard to get to make two great decisions on one street in a hand, and I think he really made a nice play. Also, that's something where you start looking at the sizing. It matters a lot. If you bet like a much smaller inviting sizing, you get raised, then you can start leveling. Oh, I think he decided, hey, this size, if I do get raised, he kind of pre-made up his mind what was going to happen. But then even once it happened, he still was like, wow, I have such a good bluff catching. But I think because he bet the size and that raise, it's really less likely that there's a bluff.
Yep. So we've got tens again. Are we going to see a flat or a raise? Probably a raise four-handed. Yep. And the ace 10 might come along. Nope, it folds. Yeah, I wouldn't have been surprised to see a call. Ooh, aces. And that's aces times 6, right?
It's at least 5. I think it is 6. I don't have the counter running today, but this is up there. That's a lot of times at a final table. I guess it's not crazy, but I think over, once you get in that wheelhouse, it starts to be really impressive. We saw the record. 4 times for one player is a lot.
Yeah.
This is today. I think 2 is the most for someone.
Yeah. And we have now 17 big blind stack. So that's the shortest, and 17 big blinds obviously still very playable. You can definitely spin that. So no one is in danger zone.
Yeah, plenty of chips for all the players. 16, 17 blinds for Lazuski, 33. Kings now for one part of Dominguez. He is
And nothing's gonna happen. Do Sadovs.
He limp though. Maybe limps, gets a bite. Maybe put up a little.
Maybe. No, he didn't limp, so.
Yeah, 4 left and 9. I mean, again, a player that he is going to put pressure on here. 1 short stack, 1 big stack, 2 in the middle.
Yep.
Who do you got? Who do you think? Who's impressed you today, Maria? I mean, obviously the chip leader's got 9 million, and he got queens all in aces, river to queen.
Yeah, you know, the chip leader has just been running well. I think he's been too loose. Like he has actually, like, I'm sure he's a great player, but he has, you know, he's been opening like his pocket 2s, his pocket 3s from under the gun. So I think that Lasowski, is that how you say his last name? Yeah. I think that he's been playing incredibly well, and has made some, you know, really good laydowns. I think they've all been playing well, but because I knew nothing about his game and had very few expectations, I think I've been most impressed because, like, Juan Pardo, I know is a ridiculous player. John Van Fleet, I know, like, those players, they're impressive, but I knew they were going to be impressive. So because I knew nothing, those are the 2 players, the chip leader and Lasowski are the 2 that I really knew almost nothing about. And so out of those 2, I think Lasowski has impressed me more.
Yeah, well said. I say that's a good breakdown, and I think that, again, there's still a lot of available play left, but so far there's been, again, the queens to the aces. That was a massive hand, and he made a lot of plays. A lot of times he's picked up pots in uncontested places and other spots those aren't willing to, and that's a function of also having so many chips. So see if you can close it out, get the win.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't want to take anything away from him. I think the queens against aces hand, it would have just been a cooler if he had not hit his queen. Like, I think he's getting it in. He absolutely did not do anything wrong, and I think he played it well. It just he just also got very lucky, which you have to do, right? We know that poker, you have to play well, and you have to run well, have to get lucky.
It's not easy to take down a 9-handed final table with some of the best in the world. So again, yeah, there's a head start is good, but it's no guarantee. And now we see the chip leader, who is our 4th place stack. We started 1 of 9, now he's 4 of 4. So no guarantees here. We see 6120K. No one's super short on the chess clock. Everyone playing pretty fast. Last week we saw 2 players have 0 time bank, which makes it today that probably won't come into play. Oh.
Yeah, so for once, John Van Fleet is not outflopped. Yeah, is outflopped, I mean, and outturned. So he is drawing dead. But I don't see him calling a bet. Yeah. Ooh, ace king and ace queen. This could be an expensive hand.
Oh, yeah, this is a potential shift of the chip lead, right? It would be close to tied then. It would be, it's got 8.8,
yeah,
3.3, and this is going to get called. Yeah, this is for
unless he hits his queen again.
Implications if he can somehow get there. Oh, a chop available. 8-8 deuce needs a deuce 9 or to chop a queen to win, or else we're going to see a new chip leader. And it is a low 5. That is
nice.
That is gonna even things out for the field too. Nice. That's gonna make things hum along. That would have been a huge lead, 12 million to 2 to 4. Instead, we see 7-5 4 2.
Yeah, change of, you know, things can change in 1 second. Big change of momentum. Go Juan.
Yeah, really interesting swing. So things will tighten up as we see a 4-handed bout right here.
Did she just say just stop Juan?
I couldn't. It's small, the writing, when I look at it.
Yeah. I
We
think
got
he
a
said
cute
just
giveaway, too.
stop Juan.
All right, we're gonna do a $50 ticket giveaway first. I forgot about this. We got to get this going. $50
All
ticket
right.
giveaway. Keyword. We're gonna do GGWSOP space Bahamas and then insert. Oh no, I'm sorry. No. We're gonna do first. We're gonna do GGWSOP with Maria. Put that Maria. Insert your GGPoker username. So this is gonna be for 50. We'll have $100 in a second as well. How do you see your podcast is actually it's risky business, right? It's risky RISKY and then biz B-I-Z.
Business.
Is that how you do it?
BUSINESS. Yep.
Oh, I thought it was
Risky
risky
business.
with BIZ. So it's the full.
Nope. Risky business. Yep.
Got it. Okay.
Just like the movie.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna put that in. This is for $50. That's it. That is the keywords there. So that's your first giveaway. You only need to put it once, don't need to spam it. And actually you have a less likely chance of winning if you spam. If I don't say eliminated, but I know the team's gonna not. If you see you just typing it constantly, you will not be eligible, but put it in once. Good luck. $50 ticket. That is gonna be officially going. Remember, you must be subscribed and must have hit the thumbs up. So if you don't like the show, if you're not enjoying, don't do that. But that is how you can get in there. GGWSP space risky business space your GGPoker username. And again, if you don't have a GGPoker username, you can gift it to someone or split it with someone, or I'm sure you know someone that has an account if you are in the poker space and world. If you don't, you can always just enter the giveaway on Twitter. That is on mine, Jeff Gross Poker. You can retweet, guess who wins. Doesn't have to be right, just got to make the guess. And that is a $50 cash giveaway. So that is on my Jeff Gross Poker Twitter. And I think Maria put that tweet out as well. You guys can enter. We got 3 giveaways, $50 right now active on the stream, 100 coming up on the stream in a sec, and then the 50 on my Twitter. Good luck to everyone. Hope that runs up. Are you one of those people, Maria, that you put in like a small deposit or free roll and just ran up your poker bankroll, or did you come in later and start diving in? Where did you dive into poker? What stakes and how did you get it?
I dove in micro stakes. I think I put in, I don't remember, like $100 deposit. Nice. Like I said, it was Poker Stars, which at that point I think it was the biggest site in New Jersey.
What year was that when you started then? I knew you started kind of later, but
2017.
Oh wow, really? No.
Yeah.
Okay. I remember.
Yeah. I'm a poker baby.
Yeah, 2017 is definitely on the newer side, but there's a new wave now, and again, states hopefully. I hear whispers of things and hard to say.
Yeah. Well, here's hoping, right?
Yeah, it would be.
I think we're on the same team here. I think we all want.
Yes, that would be great if it does happen. I mean, at some point, hopefully, sooner than later.
Yeah, I think.
What would be your it's hard to say it's nationwide because there's certain states and whatever. What would do you have any kind of hopeful thinking on when you could see? I don't even know what a good benchmark is because it's just so different. Right? California itself would be like the 3rd largest country in the world. So
right, it would be amazing if California went online. Personally, I obviously want New York to go online, and. Yeah, that would be amazing.
I mean, that's the wild part, though. It's not big hands here.
Ooh, two hands. Yeah, I think we'll see.
Get to see it all here. Ace 9, one part of the Dominguez sort of creeping up into the chip lead as we saw that big confrontation, and this is a lot of hand. This is a moment for everyone here. This is a pure, real flip. Ace Queen to Jacks. We're going to see 5, and we will either see a double or a knockout. Queen and an ace arrive. Jacks now way behind. No king or 10 for a sweat. Needs the Jack only, or we are going to even this thing out even more. It's a 7.
Yeah.
So a little bit unlucky for our chip leader, now down to 4 million.
Wow.
Luski has 2, and John is back to 5.7. So very tight now, the top 3 and 4th short, as we will actually see potentially even things getting more distributed evenly as Ace 8 suited going to dominate, Ace 7 suited, and this will likely go. Well, there is a button open, so let's see. Does he 3-bet? He does, and
he
that
does. Yes.
Good.
I think Ace 8 goes away.
Yeah. Interesting swing.
Yeah, well, John Van Fleet continuing his run good with the Ace Queen versus Jacks.
Yeah, he's.
I mean, I think we might see him win. He has been hitting it and patient when he's gotten shorter. You know, he's running pure. Ooh, we've got queens, but I think we'll see 2 folds. Unfortunately, when you have a good hand, someone else has to have a good hand too.
Yeah,
Otherwise, you cannot get full. You cannot get paid. Yeah, we forget that, right? You want to you need both things to happen. Did that just go limp call? Or no, that went raise call. Yeah. Queen's in the lead. He's giving Van Fleet opportunity to bluff, not taking it. Oh, giving him one more shot. One more shot to bluff.
Maybe a 2 diamond and a 5. So good
Yeah.
hand to start looking around at your bluff candidates. You start looking
Yep.
at those things. It's 2 things that make it attractive. And again, queens, although just can't see any. I think he's thinking about turning it into
Jamming. Yeah.
definitely not. He's not folding, right? I mean,
No.
that's played. So it's like you lose now to straights and flushes that you did out of nowhere, and he does go for the value at the end of the day.
Yep.
Still, nice him.
Yep.
That's close. I wonder if how often you get called there by worse and what you're targeting odds of play. But I guess it's not crazy. Just wonder how much better it is to shove than fold. It's probably fairly close, but I do like the shove.
I like it too. Because given that it went check, 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 he's also value betting worse, right? So.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he can take away the semi bluff, right? That's what he's thinking. That he doesn't have a flush, and also he has a diamond. He's just like doesn't make a ton of sense.
Yep.
That he would not be good there, and just giving up too much value to shove. Not shove. So ace 10, 8 9, 8 9 gonna arrive.
8 9 gets there.
And ace 10 realizing that that's not the greatest card. There is connectivity around that 7 4 5. 7 5 and
Yep.
something like 8 9 or 6 8.
Yeah, he's had a really good feel this whole final table, right? He's raising in the right spots, he's folding in the right spots. I think he's playing quite well. We see this ace 6 and king jack. I wonder if we'll see a raise and anything other than a call. Is he gonna go after it a little bit? We've seen that he is definitely not afraid to go after it. No, just a call. And king jack flops best.
Yeah, 2 pretty even fight. Ace 6 of course better hand, better position, and does get a worse flop though. King jack very strong situation. Doesn't have a spade, and likely a good enough hand to start. Against a button open, you could get some jack queen, jack tens, jack nines, jack eights to be on the hook here.
Yep, we want to start raising.
Draw and does go ahead and raise.
Yep.
Yes, this really shifted quickly. That 9 million now got distributed, and we see some very finished stacks. Even the short stack doubling.
Short stacks 20 big blinds. Nobody is oh, interesting. That was a little spicy all in with the 7-8.
Mystery hands. Mystery.
All right.
8 9 off in the big blind from your current chip leader. One part of the thing is, again, I'll just say it again just because so ridiculous. 25 million in GGPoker earnings, double gutter, sweet little flop. Although the spade, if a 6 or a 10 comes, you have to discount that from the nuts. So that is still a good flop, but got to be a little cautious. Does come ahead, and there it is, the 10 of spades. Makes a very sneaky straight, but does not have the nuts. Still got to feel really good about your hand here.
Yep.
I'm gonna go bigger. I like the sizing. There is a, I'm sorry, a flush player, but some hands that just aren't going to be able to get away. 2 pairs, maybe a big spade. He's going to go big, and then here, every reason to believe, still has the best hand. Although Again, any flush would beat this hand. You have the best hand other than a flush, and he's going to go big again. Gets snap called, and it is Queen Jack top pair there. John didn't think long about that, and again,
No, that was a very fast call.
very quick call. And now one part of the Ming is getting up into the separation zone.
Yeah, I would have at least thought about that call. I mean, I probably end up calling. He had a spade, right, John?
I don't think he did.
Oh, he didn't. Okay.
I'm not. Maybe I might have missed that, but
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was like.
But that was just like a snap, no thinking at all.
This has been one of the faster plays we've seen from the players, like time bank wise. Like no one really critically short at this stage. Oftentimes we'll see someone either at 0 or close to 0, and a couple of those players. And here we don't see an Lazowski. This is, although to put it on the line, you got to do it. It's the chip leader. He's going to open wide, such as the king 9 off, and he is going to get a force a fold and put it at risk with the shortest. So nice pickup there. Good timing. Good.
Yep.
Good fire. Good pickup for him. 2.5.
That's not getting through.
Oh, not going to be the one. Queen 9 running into the chip leader's ace king tier.
Yep.
Most tier 1, tier 2, ace king off, ace king suited, aces, kings, tier 1. Very nice hand though, four-handed nonetheless.
Absolutely.
What time are those bracelets event ending on WSOP? The one you won, what time was it? Is it going very late or not crazy?
Yeah, when you're in Vegas, and the one that I won was around 3:30 in the morning.
It goes till 6:30 in the morning.
Yeah, that's why I don't play when I'm on the East Coast, because like it's just crazy.
Really? What time did it start? Vegas time?
They start at 4.
So 7. Wow, I guess they just figure people coming home from work. I
think it's really dumb. I think that they need to start earlier.
It start at like 2 o'clock Eastern or 3 Eastern, probably 4 o'clock.
Absolutely.
Eastern.
There's no reason. The timing is horrible. It really penalizes East Coast players. I think that you get
3:30 is even late. That's late even here.
It's late even here. Yeah. And then I think another one of the bracelet events where I came in 8th, it was like after 3 a.m. as well. So that one probably ended even later. So yeah, those are really tough days. I think that it's a mistake, because people who are working, they're it's not like you're getting them to play at 4 p.m.
Right. Yeah.
So,
yeah. Also, so many people work remote or just with planning could take a day off, or half a day. If you want to play it, I just like that seems wild to not start at like 12 p.m. Vegas time.
Absolutely.
It's crazy. They probably have much bigger fields too, right?
Ooh.
It's not going to work. John needs 7 or straights or hearts or spades, all those things. He needs spades available.
Spade.
This would be pretty intense. The king, though, now it does take away some of those. Would be a boat, and it is a deuce. So the fake tease. John Van Fleet played well, ran well, and is out in 4th place. John, great to see you on the show again. It's been a while. Hope to have you on here as a guest. And again, throwback 4 years since we did the podcast. And again, does stream on Twitch, does stream on their various platforms. Give him a follow, check him out. Knows his stuff. Great showing. 4th place. Nice pickup. Now down to 3.
Jeff, 3. I'm liking my dinner chances.
I know it's sort of I'm officially
I'm now free rolling.
You are in a free roll situation. We In-N-Out Burger is good here, right? That's good. We're not talking anything crazy. Are we going? There's some good restaurants out here. You gotta be careful. There's some Michelin stars.
Absolutely. I wouldn't do that to you. I wouldn't do that to you. We can.
Right. Well, when my wife's out here, and if you want to bring a +1, I'll allow that. We could go somewhere nice.
All right.
I'm looking at In-N-Out Burger actually from out the window. There's some nice quick stuff that's easy here. This is a 3-handed affair now. 12 million. This is a spot. The dream. One part of the Mingas has everyone the same that is left, and he can really get aggressive in certain areas.
Absolutely.
Certain times, and this is going to make it tough on these guys. And these guys actually, this is one Lazowski thinking, hey, this is a pretty nice hand, 3-handed. Also against non-chip leader and first in the sense of, and will force the fold. And now they are really really even here. I'm gonna go ahead and cue the winner, and we'll throw up the other one for 100 here. All right, the winner is Philip Callis. Name on GG Future defined. So at Philip Callis, congrats on the 50. I'm going to put the 100. Oh, all right, we have our.
Oh, did we just get it in with King 7 against
7
eights?
to 8. Eights off the house. That is going to put us that heads up just like that. That is no waiting. The Greg goes all in emojis, GG flags out there. That is tough. I was announcing the winner, and we are.
All right, Jeff. Dinner. The only 2 players left are both my picks.
That is tough. We're a $100 ticket now. Let me get this up. We'll do. It is GG WSOP Bahamas space. Enter your GGPoker username. That is it.
Oh, we've got kings. So first hand of heads up. We've got a legit hand.
Warnie, you only need to put it once. I mean, you put a couple, it's okay. I just don't want people spamming. Congrats to Philippe for the 50. Now we got the. This could be over quickly. This could be over very fast. I mean, this is 15 million to 3 million.
Yeah, I want to see Juan take it down, since he was my pick who was not the chip leader, right? He was 4th, 5th in chips, but I just really love his game. So it would be great to see him win.
Two, 3, and Queen 10. I mean, this is again very, very much so in heads up poker. Hard to make pairs.
Absolutely.
2, 3 is thinking. Got some. The thing is though, you're thinking, do I hit the 4? Is it good? 2 or 3 is it good? Could I have the best hand? Does call, and a 6. So Queen 10 going to be winning the pot almost surely here.
But it might slow him down, because the diamonds came in. We raised the turn, got called. Not loving it. No, he's not scared.
Yeah, understanding heads up, even though there's flushes, straights, 6s.
Yeah.
But still heads up, top pair, queen kicker, very strong hand to the river, and especially with the stacked pot ratio, I don't think he thinks his opponent would slip it over there with a made hand. He could though, could have some like slightly better hands that decides to play the check call. But as it turns out, one part of now has still a decision with the pair.
Yeah, for sure. You have the pair, you're blocking the straight here. Not you fold.
I had a very bizarre ordering incident here. I've never had this happen, but I ordered something well before the show. Didn't make it before the show started. Then I got a picture that they left it not at the gate, not at the door, but outside, like before the gate on the curb. And then I see a picture that the person sent, and then I had someone that was just here go down and check, and then they took the food, but someone left a drink. So I got half of my order.
Oh my God.
There. That's
I hope you get a refund.
It's all right. We'll see. You know, maybe the person needed it, the food. It's all. I mean, they delivered it. To be fair, they just didn't drop it off.
I don't think that's called delivering.
Yeah,
I think that's called leaving your food at a random location.
At the guard gate, at least, you know, like don't leave it in front of the guard gate at the side.
Yeah.
That's very curious what happened. Jack 10, gonna go ahead and bet the river. Juan goes for a river jack for value. Very, again, high level stuff. Ace 3. It is ace high. It does beat some hands.
Absolutely.
And gonna fold 3.5 million, the 14 million. The $100 giveaway is going, and I think I'm gonna get this Twitter. I forgot to mention that is a $50 cash giveaway, and I'm not putting the wording in there. So if you're watching the show, you have a good chance. Not many people. If you're watching right now, I'll put the link one more time. As soon as the show's over, I'm gonna announce it and DM you $50 cash. Nice to get cash. You know, some people, you win a ticket, that's cool. Got to play. This is actual cash money from the stream today. I'm going to put the link here. And this is a last giveaway, 3 giveaways today.
Oh, queen high, good. And they both block the straight.
Out of position. No one has a heart. And he's going to go ahead and bet. And Jack 6 off. This is not so attractive of a spot. Although, again, the wheels always spinning heads up, thinking, could I have the best
For
hand?
sure.
Could I turn my hand into a bluff? Do I need to turn in my hand into a bluff? And Jack 6, although it does beat a few hands, decide not to get sticky. Would have been a pretty ambitious hero call that would not have been correct, as deuce 10 will open the button. Min raise. Always interesting to see short stacks min raise or limp in at the stack depth. I think a lot of times you see sort of limp strategy. So it's curious to see him go with a min raise strategy off of a shorter stack, which is a little less conventional, I'd say. Now the blinds are up to 160.
And we see queen 6 was the best hand pre-flop and flopping best.
Queen 6, Jack 5.
This is what you get, heads up. You get these incredibly wide ranges where we get queen 6 off, Jack 5 off, facing off. That's why heads up is so much fun.
Yeah, it's true. It is a great game. I'm a little, and it's even crazy that they took the food and they didn't leave me my straw. You know, they left the drink and they took the straw. They could have left the straw. That's actually respectful. I might go to the cameras and see what happened here. I want to know who grabbed it.
Yeah.
Is it like, you know, that's a crazy play to take someone's delivery food from like a building. I wonder if it was someone outside of the building. Like I'm trying to understand how you go and take someone's delivery food. Like that's in like a, you know, not a random place, but all right. Hey, life's crazy, you know, like bigger could be crazier things than that. But queen 6, Jack 5, queen 6 on the river, the best hand. He put it, he's ripping it in there.
Wow. He is putting him to the test.
Oh, he does have a 6. I mean, this is close.
Yeah. Will he sniff it out?
Having the queen, you know, that's maybe not the greatest of all cards. It could have like queen, jack, queen 9. So like maybe, you know, again, when you start thinking about hero calls, you really get down to the nitty-gritty.
No, I mean, having the queen isn't great because you're blocking a lot of his bluffs.
Yeah, you don't have a 4 or 5. He does call.
Wow.
Take a bow. Take a bow. That is going to take the start of the day chip leader in the second place start of the day chip leader. Now are even playing it down to a winner here, as we are pretty even. And for good news for you, you've got a locked up win. And at home, if you have the in-game betting odds, you are got a sweat. Although these were the highest priced players because they were 1 and 2 and some great experience. So
no, Juan was not the highest priced. Juan was like 4 or 5 at the beginning.
Oh, was he not in second? Oh no, I'm sorry.
No.
8 was oh, what was his price?
He was 4th or 5th in chips. Okay. I just picked him because I like him. Because I thought I thought he was a really good player. I like him, you know, personally too, but I picked him because I thought that he had a real shot at winning. But no, he was.
I was thinking he's second because he's second on the GG.
Yeah, no. He was 4th or 5th.
Ranking. I saw his name second, and that was where he's second, looking to ascend to get his 4th title. A. Lazowski looking for his 2nd, and here he goes. Just, you know, go ahead and bluff it again. Don't see. Not going to
doesn't care.
Here. Because Lazowski thinking about raising, and he does on the 4, 4, 6, 7, 9. Can't blame him.
Yeah, and is that gonna flip the chip lead? I think it will.
Pretty even. There's a look at what we're playing for. 17, about 16. So yeah, we're looking at a 77, 78K heads up match. No deals available. And again, the title to go into 4th title versus 2nd. So much to play for, as well as the money. Nice to get on those wins on that resume. We see it got a lot of players with final tables, and to go up. Artur Martirosyan with 10 wins here at the GGMillion, just astounding.
Wow, it's crazy.
I'm looking to chase him with 4 and get this done today. Queen 7, deuce 3. And again, I'm going to announce the winner here very shortly.
Almost straight, not quite.
Yeah, it's
so now we have the nut low.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Juan Pardo Dominguez came in 5th today with
There you go.
38 blinds.
And nice, he gets it through with the 3 high.
I don't remember what his price was exactly, but it was.
Don't remember.
Yeah, probably.
But I did good.
Yeah, you did return money, and you're actually, so in theory, yeah, Juan, you want to win because
I had absolutely.
Return a Lazuski, the leader would pay out about 150 from your 100, and if Juan wins, it'll be nicer. So that would and you won the real money dinner, which is nice. You swept it all today. You were dialed in. You locked in. Good picks, good analysis. You got right a lot of spots too. That in terms of right in the sense of what they actually did, as the nice fold that Jack 4 suited fold with the 10 of clubs. That was a nice fold there.
Very, very nice.
Very high level in there. He is now heads up battling for the chip lead after would have been out. So big swing. That was with 4 left.
For sure.
And King
and
3,
I think
that here, I guess, going for value in Ace 5. I think it's as played. Probably gonna call here.
I think you have to call.
A little surprised by the 3 bet, almost thin, right? Like you'd think this would qualify as showdown that you're just happy to like win with, but hey, you do target maybe some ace fives will call, and he's laughing about that. Nice hands for 1 and Jack 10, Deuce 10 suited. And he's going to go ahead and put that in 3-bet mixer and pick it up.
Yep.
And these stats do you see on the right, on the left of the screen, it's from day 1 of this tournament. So that is not lifetime.
Okay.
That is day factor. That is from day 1. That was during the GGMillion Sunday tournaments.
Here we see Ace 9 is out flopping the King Queen suited. King Queen suited, such a beautiful hand pre-flop. Such a pretty one. We see a raise. I think you're just happy to get in an ace here.
Yeah, Ace 9, King Queen suited 2. Nice starting hands.
Yeah, King Queen now drawing dead on that turn, yeah.
All right, let's get to over 150 on the thumbs up. Going to announce that $100 ticket. Appreciate everyone who is subscribed. Got 1,000 on checking in. Who's going to the Bahamas? Type of B in the chat. I will see you there. There's other, again, options all around the world, depending where you're located. May make more sense, but 10 bracelet events available at Atlantis. There's also $1,500 satellites they've been running on weekends. I don't think there's a guarantee this weekend, but there was probably 50 packages, and there will be a lot of satellites that for the 26K main event. 50, I don't care what site you rep or support or where you are, $50 million 26K buy-in tournament. Yeah, that is out there. PokerStars has done some 25, right? The PSPCs and stuff. Crazy, but this is another push the bar moment in poker. And again, with the win, with EBT, I don't know where, there is online people set like that's happening and coming for this, but I just to get 2,000 people for a 25K entries, that is very ambitious, and I think that they'll find a way. A lot of flights down there and still online.
We see Juan is running away, kind of putting more distance between them again. Lisowski was very briefly chip leader, but I think that lasted for about 1 hand.
Yeah. Yeah, not going to be.
But what a call. That was an amazing call. As we've said, both of these players are playing incredibly well today, and Lisowski has a really good feel for those fold and call plays. He's been playing those spots incredibly well. Great intuition. All right. And the 3-4 off is somehow ahead. And raises. That's pretty great.
Yeah, it's nice. Very nice. Semi bluff. That accomplishes a lot of things. Could just be get some protection. You have outs if you're behind almost surely, and you're taking control of the hand. So very, very cool hand. And then the 10-5 just gonna go in, click upstairs.
Wow. This is a cool hand. Now, do they both slow down on this turn?
I mean, at some point, these guys someone needs to slow down somewhere. I know it's F1 coming up weekend in Vegas, but people are out here speeding on this final table. There's been a lot of out of line stuff, which has been fun to watch. And this
Absolutely. And can he find the correct call again? He was able to do it before. He's been able to figure this out heads up, but I'm very curious to see whether he'll find it here, because I think he knows that he'll have to call a river. It's not his favorite river.
nope.
And
It's
for
not,
Juan, this is perfect,
it's
though.
not a spade. I'm sorry, it is a spade. It is not.
It
You're
is.
right. Definitely in his bottom. That is not a. There's not a lot of good river scenarios here. And to be fair, for Juan, if you're gonna bluff, if you're gonna take this line, I'm a little surprised he doesn't fall through with the spade river here. But I guess he just decided that he didn't. With
Whoa. Yeah, I would have. I mean, the spade river. We have the 5 of spades. I think we go for it.
Yeah.
Triple barrel.
Be careful not to listen. Juan's in my my list of I'm not going to critique or make suggestions on.
No, never. But that said,
I'm with you. I expected him to go.
Come on, you've got 10 high. This is like one of the best when it goes bet, raise, re-raise, call. Like, I don't know. But Juan is a better player than I will ever be, so I will defer to his decision making. I think we'll see the chip lead flip here one more time.
Yeah, queen 6, deuce 4. And timing is so important. He goes for it this time, doesn't go for it last time. This time, though, I mean, there's a chance it works. It does work.
It does work.
Bluffing is powerful, and bluffing works there. You can see Ayla Zuski and Juan Pardo Dominguez. Those are GGMillion earnings. So again, Juan Pardo Dominguez has 25 million on GG, 7 million alone GGMillions. Ayla Zuski 1.289 million, and both players looking to add a title to their already 3 for Juan, 1 for Lazuski. Again, there we go. Shot clock's coming into play. I mean, unlikely we'll see it. It's they're both low now, under a minute, and you know, it can go fast. I gotta pick this $100 winner. I'm gonna give
Let's do it.
For the end of the stream. But Maria, go ahead. What do you say? Pick a number. What about 150? Should we do it at 150? Thumbs up. We're at 130. How's it watching? 13 off.
150 sounds good.
50 is a clean, good number. And we're going to see, again, a winner today will be crowned. As always, GGMillions, no deal making, and played to a winner. I get my smoothie after. I feel good about that. I can't believe. I'll tell you what. I didn't have that outcome to get half the order, and the guy just sent me a picture of it. It was like the drink was outside of the bag next to each other, and here we go. Jack 6 for deuce. Look at this.
Jack 6 finds the call.
That's a golfer clap. That's a golfer clap. No question about it. High level. All right, the winner. Got to pick it because this can end.
Oh, what a flop!
Nice little start for Lazuski. All right, we're at 144. You guys, they just respond. They get it.
All right, and Ace 5 is officially dead.
Yep.
And might actually have to call this because you have, the best hand a lot of the time. You're now counterfeiting all the the 2 pairs that were below 6s. You've got the best kicker, so might need to call it twice.
There is a big not going to look that size up one.
And they're basically even.
We're about as even as it gets. 9.5. Just takes one hand. Pretty similar statistics if you look at those stats for this with the 3-bet percent, pre-flop rating, and VPIP. Kind of if you're looking at what works for the GG.
Lazuski is a little bit on the looser side compared to Juan Padro, which is funny because Juan Padro is not in it.
Yeah, that's for sure. No, these guys both like to mix it up, play pots. King 9, Queen 3. This is definitely get spicy. Both.
Yeah, we'll get some money in here.
First, Lazuski going to be playing, looking for a 3-queen club to get.
He might raise. Yeah, he might. No, oh, what a turn. Spicy.
Yep, that is out there. That's on the more of the action cards. So we'll see still top pair king kicker. Got to feel confident and heads up, and then the queen 3.
Yep.
So making a pair difficult and having backup is nice.
Yeah, I think we'll just see another call here. No reason to raise. All right, and it's clean.
Hearts. So queen 3, all of a sudden not loving the run out. 13 seconds on the chess clock. And he may be thinking he needs to do some bluffing here, but just in case your opponent hits like some kind of 5x or maybe get him off a 7 or a 6, but he is going to bluff, and this is Juan Pardo Inguez with the king 9, still top pair, and the king of hearts.
Yeah, and the king of hearts.
You know, there is a 4 or an 8 as a straight, so it's not.
It's a great river for Lisowski to lead. I love that play. Putting Juan in a really tough spot.
And this is, again, when I talk about this, the multiple choices of A, B, C, and then does a D like a jam or something, right? Like this type of stuff where you see players that like, oh, should I call or not? And they're like, well, I have the king of hearts. Maybe I'm bluffing. Maybe you could be in a weird spot, but ultimately does think this is just good to just call. Nice. Does get the right answer there, and he picks it up as we are now with a separate stack situation, 14.6 to 4. So he is now in a much better position. We are right at that 150 mark. I'm going to announce it, guys. 146. Thumbs up. Appreciate everyone who's doing that.
Oh, look, they have a straight flush together. Oh, and look at that board. This is going to be interesting if we get another spade.
Another spade would send us to next week's show. That would be but 7-4 suited is still in the lead, actually. Yep. The moment, and Lagusky.
I don't think 5-6 is folding.
And that
and that's GG.
Likely almost always GG. Stack pot ratio about 1 and 7 high flush 4 value. Going to get snap called, and that is going to be your champion. Juan Pardo Dominguez, 7 million plus in GG earnings, 25 million in GG earnings. His 4th total win, 4th title, gonna be second with the leaderboard of our all-time list behind Artur Mortarizian with 10. Some other players have 5, but he is with earnings number 2 in the all-time list and ascending. That is quite a performance from him.
Wow, that's amazing. Congrats.
He's one of your picks. He played great, ran well, and ultimately got it done. That was a very exciting show today. I'm gonna be typing in our winner to the $100 ticket here as we're getting ready to get out of here, and we appreciate you moving stuff around. Of course, Risky Business.
Of course.
Silver. That is a podcast you guys do, and people. How many episodes have you done on that now? Have you done? A lot.
A lot, yeah. So we started at the end of May, and we do 1 a week, and we've had some with 2, where we've had a bonus episode in some weeks because of news and things we needed to cover. So,
very cool. Well, I'll tell you what. If you picked Juan today in the client on GG, there's a look at that. The payouts for the odds. There's a very nice 7.68 to 1. It's always nice when you get it.
And I had 35 on him. So
35, a nice profitable on your 100 units. You had a nice wager distribution. Very long shots today, a 60 and a 50 to 1. We saw Tony Lane go out early, make a move with Ace Jack, ran into Kings, couldn't get it going. Our 50 to 1 long shot. Ben was sort of hovering in the mix there, didn't get it done. And our chip leader ends up second in our 5th place, took it down again. We see a repeat champion today. We got a little bit of everything. We saw great plays, great bluffs, great calls, action. You really can't ask for more. Biggest names in the game. And of course, Maria Konnikova. She is a 3-time writer of book, bestseller list on the New York Times, as well as a recent World Series of Poker bracelet winner. PokerStars ambassador. Appreciate you coming on the show today. And everyone can go watch Risky Business as well with Nate Silver and her do that podcast. I think it's you record today and it goes out.
We record. It goes out every Thursday.
Every Thursday. So again, give her a follow across Twitter, Instagram, all the fun stuff. Maria, thank you for your time. We're actually in the same building. We're in the same city, same building. We'll cash in on a dinner here soon. I appreciate the time.
Looking forward to it.
A great week. We'll see everyone next week. Luke Greenwood joins us as the guest.
All right. Take care, everyone.